Baturdays. Baturdays. Omnidog in the miniature of comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the fact. Baturdays. 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 In the Bat Cave.
Heyo! Welcome to Baturdays. Yes, I know I'm late. Oh, nice. I am Mr. Bragg. There's no S there, but I know I'm needed on stage. I was late. Welcome to Baturdays in the Batcave with Taylor Talks Comics, who has his studio set up exceptionally spooky. Nicely done, as we're talking about Spooktober books.
It's so scary that Jack Kirby just fell on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have this?
Spirit action figure come out of him?
Yeah, do you have him?
I don't. Where did you get him?
NECA made this. I think it came out a few months ago.
I don't think I even saw that it was released.
Turtles Donatello issue.
Oh.
Have you read the original Turtles?
Sorry?
Have you read the original Ninja Turtles comics?
Not the original, no. I read the recent IDW series. That was my first exposure to the Turtles. I loved it. I followed it through volume 12, and I enjoyed the whole thing.
In the early issues with Eastman and Laird, they have an issue where a character very much looks like Jack Kirby was a character, a comic book artist.
Oh.
So they made an action figure about that appearance.
Does he come with a cigar?
No, he didn't have a cigar in the comic, though. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, he comes with a... Oh, no. I think I lost his pencil. Oh, there it is. So in the comic, he has this magic pencil. It's very tiny.
That would be so easy to lose.
I know. It's got this like magic rock on it, so everything he draws comes to life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And it came with the notebook that he was drawing Donatello on.
That came with it too?
Yeah.
That's boss.
And one of the little monsters he created too came with.
What? This came with all that?
Yeah.
God, it's too bad I hate Jack Kirby. I know, I'm kidding. I just wanted to. That's my first scare that I threw into you for Spooktober.
You even wore my Jack Kirby shirt.
Yeah. Well, I have my Electra shirt on.
That's great, though. Bill Sienkiewicz is the man.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of classic Marvel art T-shirts that have Kirby's art on it. It's usually like Sean Romita, Buscema, or somebody.
Those guys.
But I found this at an Old Navy, and it's Jack Kirby, so I was like, I have to pick that up.
Old Navy. Wow, what a pickup.
I know. Was
That's
not
really
expecting
cool. That. Let's see. Oh, comic book report. Woohoo. Good to see you in the chat, buddy. James is here. Mr. Awesome. The lovely Kane. Good evening, everyone. I couldn't make the afternoon stream, but I made sure to be here for this one. Nice.
Thank you.
Happy Baturdays, Saz Merv. What is that? Oh, because I was late. And now it's all drained. I'm late. What time was that? 8:07. Jesus. Sorry, guys.
He was late because he's watching a really crappy football team.
Shut up. Hondo. Broody. Well, I don't know what that means, Hondo. What are you? Oh, here's somebody that. Oh, he meant Heyo. How do you get Heyo from Broody? Did you say Heyo into your phone and it translated it Broody? James knows what's going on. Legion of Superheroes rocks. Right. You're in the right place. Lars, I really dislike horror movies, but for some reason, reading horror comics is not a problem. Okay, good. Well, we're glad you're here. CNSSS is here. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hello.
Here's our friend from the Great White North, True Graphic. How are you, my friend?
Doing well.
Fine. Chris going for a doubleheader. Saw him on the first stream, seeing him on this stream. Same with Josh. You are on Omar time, I believe. Bronze Age horror is a great investment. You're not wrong.
That's something that I don't have any of those House of Secrets. Or what's the other one?
House of Mystery.
House of Mystery. I don't have any of those omnibuses, and I kind of want to get them.
Yeah, they're sort of sanitized, but they have some great artists in there. And
Yeah.
the stories are decent. They were fun.
Well, it's like when you get to a certain point, it's like how many horror anthologies do I need to collect? Like, I have the EC stuff. I'm collecting the Creepy Eerie magazine art reprints. I have the Atlas stuff, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. The EC stuff is the most important, in my opinion.
I agree.
Javier's here. Nice. Oh, Mallory, my big fan of Omnidog Autumn and Spooktober. She's ready.
Yes.
We just mentioned you and Bunk in the previous stream, Mallory, because the book Mimetic by Tiny Onion has a sloth on the cover. And I know that you and Bunk are big sloth lovers.
As you can see from the avatar there.
Right. That's how we knew. Yeah. So, wait, maybe I still have. Where is that? We call them giants. Let's see if I can pull up the mimetic. Slanye. I'm going to the previous. Wait a minute. Creature from the Black Lagoon. That counts. Okay, wait. I need to go to my thumbnails. What the hell am I doing here? What?
Is it a Boom book? Boom Studios?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the answer to a lot of things, but I'm trying to please a viewer here by showing her a sloth book. There
we go.
It is Mimetic, the Apocalyptic Trilogy, and that's a slothy sloth right there. I have no idea about this book.
It looks
Tiny Onion.
Looks like the sloth is going into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, or the time tunnel.
Yeah.
I know that one of them was out of print and it was too hard to collect, so I was really happy this was getting a hardcover. So there you go, Mallory. Mimetic. My birthday is in October. Always loved Halloween. Nice. Oh, I skipped Javier. What up, Javier? Marver Bab, good to see you. I wish you well, too.
Yeah, definitely.
And I even get a long weekend because of Columbus Day. Good.
Nice.
Things are coming up, James Kolchak. Carol Chick. Sorry, I said Kolchak. I love that show. Carol Chick. Low Hit. Just here to support the Tay Man.
How you doing, Low Hit?
Yeah, hey, Kirby.
How dare you?
Life is good. Oh, here's newest Discord member Kitsune Kaizi. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Glad to meet you. She is primarily camping out in the manga section of Omnidog's Discord, where I was asked to go greet her and make her feel welcome by Ilan, who brought her in. So
was that the first time you've ever dipped your toes into the manga channel on Discord?
It might have been the second time, but
I didn't know you allowed that in there.
What, me to go in there?
No, just manga on the.
Oh Discord. Yeah, oh, I had nothing to do with that.
I know
that whole thing. Everybody sets up a channel they want, and I just go, okay, as long as everybody's nice. But Kitsune is apparently a big fan of Solo Leveling, and that is a comic that T-Lar Blunt has been singing the praises of for like a year. I have a ton of it on my iPad, and I think I'm hoping. I wait, is Solo Leveling manga?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping that since it's on my iPad, I might be able to read it Western style. I don't know, but I'm going to try.
You do still swipe the other way.
I swipe that way. I swipe.
Well, for manga, you swipe the opposite, just like you would on a book.
So I'd swipe the opposite way on my iPad?
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm already confused. Kasuni, I'm going to give it my best shot.
Well, when you swipe one way, if it's the same page you just read, you have to swipe the other way.
Well, that's true. Old Navy has a lot of cheap comic T-shirts and stuff. Oh, here's Larry's library.
Hey, there's
Larry,
a Jack Kirby guy.
Good friend of the show. Oh yeah. Let's see. When am I having Larry on? I think it's next. I'm having 2 Baturdays in a row. My schedule's all goofed up. I'm having Freddie and Max on in the afternoon at 1 next Saturday. And then Larry's doing Baturdays with me. Larry, we're going to read. It's going to be like book club plus other books. We're going to read Subgenre by Matt Kint.
Ooh. I've not read that yet, but I'm curious.
Yeah, same. I don't think neither of us have read it.
Matt Kint's great.
Yeah. Instead of football, just read. Dude, that's all I do. I got to take a break for football. It's my favorite sport, college and pro. So that means Jess was watching the Jets. No, I was watching a college team that Taylor's not a fan of.
No, because Penn State because I'm a Penn State alum, and Penn State every single year does the same thing to me. They'll start the season like 8-0, 9-0. I'm like, oh, this is the year. And then for whatever reason, they can't beat Michigan or Ohio State.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
It's
not sorry.
It's been like 5 or 6 years since they beat Ohio State. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm an Ohio State fan because back when I was a kid in 1968, my cousin's husband played for Woody Hayes.
Oh.
So I became a fan in my formative years. Then their son, in 2002, won with Jim Tressel the national championship.
Oh,
which is pretty cool. So when I was in 1968, that's when I formed all my opinions about sports, and I stuck with my teams, which is why I'm stuck with complete losers like the New York Mets, LA Rams. They may be okay. They gave me a couple Super Bowls at least.
Well, the Mets won. Did the Mets win in '86?
Yeah, 30. Is that 30 years? 40 years ago?
Yeah,
almost 40 years ago. But they have been in other World Series, so that's good. 2000, 2015, 1973.
We got close.
True Graphics doing great. Good. I always like to hear that. She and I have very similar
Who's your
taste.
All-time favorite Rams quarterback?
Well, I loved Roman Gabriel growing up, but I think it has to be Kurt Warner.
Okay.
I followed him.
I'm a Giants fan, unfortunately. But
Giants. Okay. Well, unfortunately, you've won several Super. What?
Well, right now, unfortunately.
Oh, but freaking A! Eli beat the Patriots twice.
No, I love those years. Those are some of my favorite moments in sports history. But Eli, though, I don't know if you remember this, but Kurt Warner played for the Giants for one season, and it was Eli's rookie year.
I do remember that, and
Kurt Warner started 5-3, and then they still benched him for Eli.
Yeah, I'm still bitter that the Rams let him go, and that was 30 years ago. So,
here's a great story, though.
It is, yeah. Weird war tales, weird sports tales. I have a ton of weird sports tales for some reason. Strange sports tales is what I have from DC.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't. They may be behind my Harley comics on my spinner rack. I had a bunch of strange sports tales, just because they were fun and goofy and they were Silver Age and they reminded me of growing up. But they're completely, they're goofball things. Weird war tales, those things could be fun. They don't have those collected in any form that I know of.
No, I think those might have been in a showcase. If anything, there's like black and white, just like the Marvel. What they call them?
Marvel... the Essentials.
Essentials, yeah. DC did their DC showcase black and white. I think Weird War Tales and what was the the horror tank, haunted tank.
Haunted tank.
Yeah, I think I got a showcase too.
Also, what we need is weird Western, because that's where Jonah Hex started.
Yes.
We need lots of Jonah Hex collected. Chris says, this can be a fact-finding mission for me. Good. I like that already, because my brother loves horror, and I could use some ideas for books, maybe some deep cuts for him. Deep cuts. I have some obvious ones, but I may have some that you haven't focused on, and Taylor may also.
Yeah, and real quickly, if you don't mind, if I could plug my channel real fast.
Plug it. It's in the description. There's a live link to Taylor's channel in the description.
Yes, Taylor Talks Comics. So all month in October, this is kind of why I told Jess I wanted to kick it off this way. All month in October, every single day, there's going to be at least one video about a horror comic or horror comic related topic on my channel. So it's going to be a big month. I've been prepping it and reading horror comics since like July to get ready for this. Because I knew if I waited till October to try to do it every day, I wouldn't have done. So I did a pre-prep a lot of that stuff. So a lot of things we will talk about tonight. We'll give you some recommendations, but also hopefully on my channel. And I do implore people to go watch some of the videos that I put out, because it might be a title you're not familiar with based on the thumbnail or something, but check it out and see if it's for you. All the videos are going to be pretty short too. They're going to be like less than 10 minutes. So not too much of your time. I
was going to do 31 days in October, but there's no way. So I decided instead what I'm going to be doing is I've been promising a supernatural / occult / witches, my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do 4 of those plus other things, overviews of spooky comics. But at the end of every week, I'm going to have my favorite supernatural occult books, and it's going to be part 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear that, Mallory? I know you've been asking for it, and I think True Graphic may have asked for it too. I'm definitely coming through on that in October.
I'm excited for that. It's kind of like your crime comic series you did recently.
Right. Thank you for remembering that.
Oh, of course. Oh, I have something. Go ahead. Sorry.
She's excited about a Sloth book by Tiny Onion is a dream come true. I hope that Sloth gets into creepy shenanigans.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
I heard some rumors going around comics YouTube that you were disparaging and maybe even insulting a comic book that you picked up in your haul recently. That you picked up just because someone was hounding you to pick it up.
Well, I know Josh Greathouse has been bugging me about Dwellings.
Yes. How dare you?
I picked it up. I'm going to read it. What are you?
I won't tell you who told me that rumor, even though you could probably figure it out.
I have love for this book. He picked it. He told me to pick it up, and I got it. Why are you upset?
No, Josh was just telling me beforehand, and we're just giving you a hard time. But I think that you will really will dig that book, though. It's got like Harvey Comics. Which did you read Harvey Comics back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's got that vibe to it, but it's definitely not for kids. Not for kids, even though it looks like it is. But like it's got each story is kind of like its own thing, but all takes place in the same town. Really, really good. I think it's one of my favorite favorite horror reads of the year.
Okay, so it's a horror read, so I should read it for Spooktober.
It has some occultish things in some of the stories.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I have a ton of occult stuff that I've already read, but then I have some more stuff that I need to read that I know I'm gonna like, but I need to read it.
I really like that book. It seems like a Jeff Bragg book.
Good. So happy to be here. Want to get into some comics. Manhwa. I think that's what Solo Leveling is. So Western style. Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
It's Korean, so read same as English. That's what I thought. Okay.
I've never read a manhwa, so I didn't know that. So there you go. You can read that. I do have a lot of manga that will be appearing on my channel next month. I did set them aside today because I know just you don't hate manga. It's just like an ongoing bit. But I try to keep it to Western comics.
Well, the thing for me is it's hard for me to read, and that's
right.
Thing is, but for some reason, Junji Ito's stuff I can follow fairly reasonably well.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I've read a lot of his stuff and been incredibly creeped out by it. Like
Yeah,
no
I think
book
it's his
has
panel
had.
layouts because especially a lot of the shonen manga, which is like their kind of superhero mainstream stuff. The panel layouts are like really more open and wild, so I can see it being hard to follow as far as where you're at on the page and stuff. But Junji Ito does do a good job of that, so I'm
Yeah,
not
and
surprised by that.
those books have been the most disturbing and unsettling for me of anything I've read in comics. Really,
Have you read No Longer Human by him?
I haven't.
It's like a thick white book. It's actually an adaptation of a novel from Japan.
Oh, that's that one. Okay.
Yeah, I just read that the other day. I think it's my favorite of his.
Mm.
Definitely has a lot of there's a lot of trigger warnings for anybody that deals with mental health issues. So I will say that. Make sure you're in the right mental space to read it. But it is wild and it's it's kind of more grounded for a Junji Ito book, but I feel like it's even more cerebral in the sense that it made me feel certain things while reading it. But he's like the master of modern horror to me. Like he's so good.
When I read Dissolving Classroom, I almost threw up. There's a scene in there that made me almost throw up.
That's one I haven't read yet.
We all got it for like $4 off of Amazon 3 years ago or something. Omnicat and I did, and other people did. And I read it. It just got more unhinged. And then there was this really vile part where I had to put it down, and I really almost got sick. But I kept reading, but it was really so. And then there's
he builds that tension, right? And even though he wasn't the writer on No Longer Human, it does have that because it's about a guy that he starts off in his childhood as the class clown, and he lives off of getting the rise out of people. And then there's one day where this kid looks at him and says he does a pratfall, like a Chevy Chase type pratfall, and this kid looks at him and says you did that on purpose. And he's I've been found out. People know my secret that I'm just trying to be funny now. So then it sends him into this downward spiral of people looking at him as a phony. And then he has all these terrible relationships with people and treats people horribly. And this downward spiral of his whole life that ends up in all these horrific things, people dying, murdering. It's and here's even the spookiest part about it that has nothing to do with Junji Ito. The guy that wrote the novel, the inner flap of the book, it's supposedly an autobiography. Now, I don't know if it was one of those loose autobiographies where these things happen with these horrific things happen with people that he that exaggerated for the story. He didn't actually kill somebody or someone didn't actually die in this moment, but maybe to him they died, or you know what I mean? Metaphorically, possibly.
Yeah.
But he throughout the book there are some self-harm moments. That's why it's triggering. But he released the novel, and I guess he's fairly successful as a novelist in Japan during the time that he released it, and then a month later he took his own life. So a month after he released the novel. So it's kind of the spooky aura around it. It's was he writing this horrible thing and it led him to this path, or was he actually letting out everything that actually happened in his life and then he couldn't stand the retribution of it, or what? Nobody knows. But
oh gosh,
yeah.
That's
so it's got this black cloud hanging over it, but
wow.
So definitely not a joyful or happy read by any means, but really, really fantastic.
Solo Leveling has an anime. Solo Leveling is Korean. You swipe down. Okay.
You swipe down.
Swipe down. Any horror stories by Tiny Onion or Rom V always gets an A+ from me. Agreed. Kane says, Penn State are just like the Eagles. Get our hopes up only to let us down.
Well, see, here's the thing, Kane. I can't get by with that because I'm a Giants fan. So I hate the Eagles. And also one thing that's making me upset about the NFL this year, and it's really making me kind of boycott it as a fan, what happened to Saquon Barkley? And the fact that the Giants didn't re-sign him, and then he goes to the Eagles. And it's not Saquon's fault. I'm not one of the Giants fans that think it's his fault because the Giants should have re-signed him when they had the chance. But Saquon Barkley played for Penn State. I actually had a class with Saquon Barkley. He's in one of my classes. Yeah, true story. Online classes, so I never saw the guy. But on the class list, he was in there with me while he was playing with the Giants, actually, because I think he was taking online classes to finish up his senior year. So I had this very, I was a huge fan of him. Penn State. He goes to my favorite NFL team, gets drafted by him. Huge fan of Saquon, and now he's playing with my most hated NFL team.
That's rough.
Yeah, and I can't even blame him. It's not like I can hate him now because I'm still a fan of him, and I think the Giants screwed up in that situation, not Saquon.
Yeah.
So I can't even be mad at the guy.
Katsuni has work in the morning. It's 1:20 a.m. I believe she's from the UK. So I have to go for now, but glad I could say hi. We'll try and catch another stream soon. Peace and love, Katsuni. Thanks for being here.
And you could always watch the replay.
Yeah.
Let's go to that live tab on Omnidog's Vault and you can check it out.
That's an avatar of me, Omnibus Canis. So we're talking college football now. Diversify. Hashtag diversify.
That's a facial hairless, Jeff.
Yeah. That's kind of a rare picture of me without hair on my face. 5 weeks of Baturdays. I saw Kurt Warner play when he played in Amsterdam. That's amazing.
That is cool. Old NFL Europe.
No, I actually feel really bad. We're changing to baseball now. I really feel bad for the White Sox. That's a terrible thing to own. The Mets, surviving Mets players from the 62 season did not want to wish that record to be broken. I read an article about them, and they were rooting for the White Sox not to be have the most losses. So
those pictures of their stadium during some of those last games of the season, those, like, there's only like 2 or 3 fans in the crowd. Very sad.
Yeah, it is. Those Rams beat my 49ers and went to the Super Bowl and won. Crying face? You mean happy face?
Hey, the Giants beat the Niners on the way to their most recent Super Bowl. Alex Smith and the Niners. When what's his name fumbled the ball twice? I forget, it's the Niners player that fumbled the ball twice.
Yeah.
Something Williams, maybe? I don't know. Eli got beat up in that game, though.
Yeah. Okay, here's my schedule, apparently. 9:21 Dom. That was last week. 9:28 Taylor. 10:05 Larry. 10:12 Oh My God Samantha. Yep. And then 10:19 Curtis of Epic Marvel Podcast. Some of those days I have 2 things going on. Larry's day, I have the Freddie and Max show at 1. Samantha's day, I just have I have Bunk and Elon at 1 p.m. for Crime Corner and other comics, and then Samantha at 8. The 19th, I have the Batman show with Curtis, but at 1 o'clock, I have the Halloween cereal taste test with Tracy the Realtor.
Ooh.
And then the 26th, I just have 1 show, and that is a horror movie review show with, of all people, Jessica.
When's Omnicat coming back?
I don't know.
Doesn't she know she lives in America? You don't get long maternity leaves here.
I gave her a year's maternity leave.
No, she only gets like 30 days here in America. What's she doing? What's she up to?
I think her first Omnicat's probably first order of business is to show back up on Fangirls, because they actually get money for that show. Then she'll probably go to her own channel second, and then this channel third. So it could be a while, and I don't blame her.
Oh, you come before Larry?
Oh, she'll appear on her dad's show, and then I'll be. So I'm 4th on the list. Yeah, good. Glad you pointed that out. Thank you.
I know Larry's watching, so I wanted to throw that in.
You two played a stupid commercial. At first, I thought it was you guys playing another Custom Casey Kasem clips. Those are so good.
I never heard those before.
Oh my god, those are so funny. Okay, Katsuni, good. Glad to have you here. I'm a fan of whatever football team covers my bets. Oh, this is a bad thing.
How did Texas do, Harvey? Do you owe me a
Texas cover for you?
I told him he owes me a Fantagraphics gift card if I saved him money on that.
Hey, Matthew. Comic book report in the middle of family time. I'll need to get to the replay. This is an awesome team up. Good to see you here, buddy. Glad to have you here.
Texas won by 22, so I was right, Harv. There you are. I saved you some money today.
That's why, college football especially, you should never bet on.
No.
Taylor Talks Comics YouTube, which is in my description. Oh, Taylor Talks Comics Discord. That's not in my description.
Everybody's
love
subscribed to my
to
channel
know-
though. I'm gearing toward. I'm trying to get to 3,000 by the end of the year. That's my goal.
Nice. Some good psychological horror comics. You know what comes to my mind for psychological horror, Alex? That would be Gail Simone's Clean Room. I know right where it is. I can go grab it. But psychological horror is kind of my favorite. Let's see what else I have here. As far as psychological horror, actually, a lot of horror that I have is psychological because the characters get put in terrible positions of scariness and stuff they can't see, and it's stuff they can't handle. So I'll let you know when I pull up some more psychological. But Clean Room by Gail Simone is my first recommendation.
Are you a Lovecraft guy?
I've not. No. I've only read some of his comic adaptations and things like that. I didn't read.
Grew up reading him or not?
Neonomicon.
Oh, yeah.
I read all those things. Yeah, Alan Moore's adaptations.
He's a newer avenue for me to go down. I didn't grow up reading him or anything, and this is a manga. But
this is supposed to be amazing art.
Oh, it's so good. So
you want to show some of it?
Yeah, sure. So for psychological horror, I feel like H.P. Lovecraft does a good job of that because a lot of what he does in his prose stuff is supposed to be like indescribable. He like just says like this horrific monster that you could never imagine. So then when you as the reader is kind of like imagining the worst thing you can think of, right? So that makes it hard for when someone's adapting it because then they're having to draw these unimaginable things. But the artwork in here is just brilliant. But the at the Mountains of Madness is about this team of explorers, these various different scientists. There's like a chemist, a physicist, and a biologist and stuff, and they all have this mission to go to Antarctica and explore the depths of it, where everyone else that has ever tried to do that in the past is like ended up dying. Like it's been an unsuccessful trip for everyone else. And the psychological part though is that they constantly are getting into these, the further they get into the trip, there's like tension between the group and they get further and further. It's like they get their heads underwater. They're being like buried in the madness of do you continue the mission or do you give up at this point? How far do you go? And then just imagine being like stuck in the middle of the cold Antarctic weather and how that would really mess with your mind. So the main character within the story is like the most sorry, I just want to show up. I was trying to find a good panel of like the cosmic horror. That's the main character right there, the guy with the beard. He's like the most level-headed at the beginning of the book, and then by the end of the book, he like starts losing his mind slowly, and starts making these bad decisions. When he was at first, he's like the one guy on the team is always making the best decisions and keeping him on the right path and stuff. But I think it does a really good job of building that tension of these guys truly losing themselves into the madness, which is, I guess, what a lot of Lovecraft is about.
Yeah. Okay, I found Clean Room by Gail Simone. Somewhere between the realms of self-help and religion lies the Honest World Foundation. Its creator started out as an obscure writer of disposable horror fiction who decided to change the world one mind at a time. Now its adherents rule Hollywood while obeying their leaders' every command. Sounds like Scientology. That's almost all anybody knows about the movement, or is it a cult? And Chloe wants answers from the woman whose words command the loyalty of millions, because reporter Chloe is sure that something there is hiding deeper. Her fiance was a devoted follower right up to the moment when he blew his brains out. This has the first two have amazing art by John Davis Hunter. I think this is one of the best things Gail Simone's written. I love this because it goes from cult following and her investigation into like hell is real and the devil is coming, and the whole purpose. John Davis the third one is done by good artists, but not quite as, this is the third one, but not quite as good as John Davis Hunt. But it turns out the cult is actually trying to bring some like otherworldly god here, and it's full of really demented, twisted things. I didn't know Gail Simone could get this gnarly and twisted.
And there's just 3 trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So we see these entities pecking and clawing their way into our reality. Yeah. These things are trying to come into our reality, and as they do, she starts blowing them apart. So I found this to be really, really great. Clean room. I was very happy with it.
It's now on my list.
Awesome. So let's see. 2 great Batman horror reads are Arkham Asylum by Morrison and Black Mirror by Snyder. Yes. Black Mirror was Snyder's first Batman.
I do like when horror can blend into other genres and things. That's one thing I'm trying to show off throughout the month too. It's like I have a very like wide grasp of what horror can be. I feel like some people are too narrow-minded when it comes to like they think horror has to be like something that scares them. And I'm like, no, not necessarily. Like I can be like a Godzilla comic and it's not going to scare me, but like it's about a giant monster. So I feel like that's, one genre of horror.
Yeah, I just thought of body horror by Marguerite Bennett, Insects. That's an amazing body horror. I know right where it is, so when I highlight you again, I'll go get it.
Please do. I love body horror, so that's
it's real body horror. Yeah, awesome. She wrote a crazy body horror one. I know Kristen and Maddie hate that book. Oh, is that Clean Room?
Oh.
Okay. Yes, they did. We're talking about Clean Room? Oh, well. October is going to be so awesome. I can't wait for that series, Jess. I can't wait to be munching some Count Chocula, sipping some Kool-Aid, and get stuck in. Nice.
Sounds perfect.
Is better than Junji Ito. Giants fan, unsubscribe.
Oh, no. Please don't.
Hey-o, YP. Going to enjoy a Magnolia banana pudding while watching this stream. Lucky you. No, I would not. I can't read manga. The problem is I can't read it. I can't follow it. My brain's not elastic enough anymore. Oh, here's Tom of X. Good to see you again.
Hey.
Just stream trademark. Magnolia Bakery. Everybody loves Magnolia Bakery. Oh, here's Mary M. What up? I'm a Jets fan. I even love Saquon. He's so talented. Sending compassion your way, Taylor, now that he's an Eagle.
I appreciate that.
Larry not on board with it. The ending of Neonomicon is just horrible and not in a good way. I agree. I don't recommend anybody read it. It was more research. And actually, I think I went into it just going, oh, okay, this is going to be some Lovecraft horror. And it was a lot ickier than I thought of.
That one's a psychological horror, I feel like. I mean, there's a lot of different horror included besides that, but like, I feel like the whole purpose and idea of it is to really kind of send people into some sort of madness that they're in. But it is one of those books that I'm going to review it on my channel this month, which is going to be interesting and difficult.
Good luck.
But it is one of those that like I'm going to preface with if you read this and you end up hating it, I'm not going to even try to like argue in favor of it, saying like no, it's really actually good, like has merit to it, because there are some horrific things in it that I totally understand. People just like, why is this even in this comic?
Yeah. There's some very much non-cool things that happen in that book.
Yeah.
Oh, volume 3 seems a bit hard to find for Clean Room. That's too bad. Okay. Huh.
Well, it sounds like you need to make a big deluxe hardcover then.
Yeah. It's a Vertigo comic. Jewish Dragon's back for another round. Good to see you. Oh, they were talking about No Longer Human. Oh, phew. Okay. They didn't like that book. Okay. Thank you.
Oh.
Insects is great. Okay, I'll go pull that when I get a chance. I am pretty sure I know right where it is, which is amazing. Spokebolt, welcome to the show. Yes, it's indie, but I really enjoyed The Hills of Estrella Roja. And if you like body horror, Tender is awesome.
I'm going to write those down.
Yeah, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Thank you for that, Spokebolt. Appreciate your being on the show. Have you read this yet?
But I got the other cover.
Oh, nice. With the 12-inch long neck on the woman.
Is that why? I heard you didn't like this cover. Is that why you don't like it?
Yeah. It looks like she's elongated man or plastic man with that neck.
Either that or he like beheaded her and it's like holding her neck.
But that's not what happens in the book.
Right.
Did you enjoy this book?
I absolutely loved it. Yeah. So I'm trying to get these books written down. So I'm a huge fan of Department of Truth, which is the same team, Martin Simmons and James Tynion. And I'm a huge Sienkiewicz fan, which is, I said I loved your shirt. And I love anyone that's doing like a Sienkiewicz pastiche, which is all Martin Simmons's. Look at this creepy guy.
Yeah.
Mine came with a book plate, though. Did you get that?
No. It's signed by Tiny Onion
and Simmons.
Oh, mine sucks.
But you know what? I wasn't even expecting that.
So that's a super nice bonus.
Yeah, I ordered it from a competitor of your sponsor, which I don't think you've listed.
I haven't. Thank you for
and it just happened to come with it. I was like, I didn't expect this. And it was one of those cool ones that like it was loose, but it has like a sticky back to it, so you can stick it into your book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Organic Price Books. Use code Omnidog for $2 off your order, or ship 4 books together and get 5% off with the code Omnidog Sit. I even use this code so I can save 5% off. It's awesome.
I love all the mixed media and collage work he does in this book. Like I'm assuming that's like real fabric lace he uses if you like looked at the original art.
Yeah.
Like it's just incredible stuff. But yeah, I love this. Definitely.
I do too. I highly recommend this to anybody. It's a retelling of Bram Stoker's Dracula by Tiny Onion, and it's everything you want in a Dracula book. And the art, like Taylor's saying, is out of this world. Yeah. I'm a big fan of his. I think some people didn't care for the art at first in Department of Truth, but
I absolutely love it.
It grew on me, and I had no problem with it, and now I love it. Yeah, it's different. It's different than normal.
Same thing people said about Sienkiewicz back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So
it's quite different, but we get used to it, and then I ended up loving it. In this book and Department of Truth, I love Department of Truth. Yeah. So this comes with a 5-star recommendation. This is up there for book of the year for me.
Which Department of Truth is a horror comic, right? There's some pretty horrific things that happen in there.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like a little bit of X-Files ish too. It's like conspiracy theories, but
it's all about conspiracy theories.
I love that book though. I'm hoping that it continues. That there's that one that you guys talked about in the solicits earlier. That comes out. It's like a spin-off title.
Wild Fictions.
But I don't think Simmons does interiors on this, does he?
I
think he does the covers because I think the cover is his.
Was that a September one or an October one?
It was October. You guys talked about it today.
Okay, wait. Let's see. I'm just going over what we went through. X-Men. Ooh, there's one I'm going to talk about.
I think it's early October too.
Okay.
That helps you.
That does help me. Oh, yeah. There's that Dracula book that looked so interesting. Wait, what book am I looking for again?
Department of Truth. Wild. What is it?
Wild Fictions.
It says by Tynion and Simmons.
Yeah, I don't see it here. I don't. It's possible that he didn't list.
Sorry, it came out September 25th.
So it's in a super big box. I just got up there.
Okay,
I got today
a couple days ago.
Okay.
I guess it is Simmons Interiors. It only lists him on the book.
good.
That makes me even more excited then. Okay, because I will say there are some issues that some fill-in artists do on Department of Truth, and I didn't really care for them too much. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope it keeps going on though.
Yeah, I'm interested in where it stops, how it stops. Up here's Spooey. What up? Good to see you. Neonomicon is one of the most horrible of horror books. There's some really unhinged, uncool stuff that happens in there.
It kind of gave me the same feelings as what is that one movie, Requiem for a Dream? Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's who does it? It's one of those famous.
Is that an Aronofsky movie?
I think so, but it is like the most horrible. Like it's a well done movie. So when I say horrible, I mean like the way it made me feel. It was an absolutely horrible movie, and I can never watch it again. Like it made me feel so low and down and depressed after watching it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is an Aronofsky movie.
Okay.
I understand people like it because of its merit and things, but after watching that, I felt like the lowest I've ever felt in the world. I was just like this, like it really messed with me. But which I guess is supposed to, right?
Yeah.
It's that's telling of its merit and what it did. But that when I read Neonomicon, it kind of reminded me of that movie, and some of the similar things happen. So,
Rafa's here. Are you a fan of 30 Days of Night graphic novel series? I think I read it. I know I saw the movie.
I've seen the movie. I've not read the comic. It's one of those comics I've always wanted to read. I just never got around to it.
I forgot to put asterisks around my announcement. I have failed you all. He meant to put asterisks in here. That's okay. We didn't miss them. You're still welcome here, Spooey, old guy. Just saw a review video for Tiny Onion Dracula. The Hills of Estrella Roja is really good. Atlanta is up 28-0 with 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And by Atlanta, I mean Alabama. Oh, they're playing Georgia. Good heavens.
I was gonna say Atlanta. What college is you're getting into some like deep level 2 college or whatever?
Atlanta, University of Atlanta?
Betting on some junior colleges. How do you feel about surreal horror?
Can you give me an example?
Like Cronenberg, David Lynch kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I love a lot of Cronenberg stuff.
Because two of my favorite horror comics are Surreal, and this is Danny Klaus. You've read this, right? Like a Velvet.
Yeah. I don't think I have that. I have.
Well, you have the 8-ball box set, right?
I must have it in the box set. Yeah, I haven't read it.
It's in the first 9 issues, I think. I just have. I'm a nut job, and I have the box set and this. But this is one of my favorites. It's just like real surreal horror where it's like just like uncomfortable imagery where we don't exactly know what's going on. Like look at this, like characters like this potato lady.
Oh yeah, wait, let me highlight you. Yeah, very odd.
Yeah, just like oddball, like makes you uncomfortable just looking at kind of things where you don't quite understand what's going on, and it just makes you like feel, I don't know, like uneasy, I guess would be the good way to put it.
Yeah.
Another one of mine in that same kind of genre would be Black Hole.
Yeah.
This is my all-time favorite horror comic for sure.
I agree with that.
Like it's number one for sure. And before anybody asks, I don't have the new Charles Burns book yet. I want to get it, but
Final Cut, yeah,
amazing. So this is all about these high school kids and around town. STDs start to give you like physical deformities. So obviously, like there's this kind of like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like prejudice against people that have like STDs and things. It's like this icky thing of culture, right? Well, imagine if they're like physical deformities that everyone can see. So it's like this kind of like and how people around you would deal with that kind of thing. It's just amazing. And then the brushwork of Charles Burns is just absolutely sublime reading through it, but definitely my favorite horror comic ever.
Yeah, I can just feel Cycle typing in all caps how great a selection that is. Where is that? There it is.
I know he also released a new single issue comic that Cycle told me about. Comes out tomorrow. So so this year Charles Burns been a number of years without releasing anything. This year we got the book that's called Comics with a K, and it's all him doing like these fake covers. So it's like an art book.
Oh,
and then he just released the book that came out last week. It's called Final Cut.
Final Cut. Yeah.
And then now he's doing a single issue comic book. It's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, and I have a guest. Upper management is in here.
Hey.
She's up visiting my best friend who my nickname for her is Buffy. Hey, Buffy. Miss you. I'm sorry I'm not up there with you. My wife is on a journey of New England, and she took her sister instead of me because I'm having agoraphobia right now for some reason. I am struggling with leaving the house. So Buffy is up there watching, and so peace and love to Buffy, one of my oldest friends.
Is she a vampire slayer?
She's not. I gave her that nickname because she was my BFF.
Oh, I thought that was actually like her nickname.
I call her Buffy, but no, I'm the only one that calls her Buffy.
Oh, okay.
Requiem for a Dream is a good movie that I never ever watch again. Agree with Taylor. More like Requiem for a Nightmare. Okay, I think I'm going to be avoiding that.
I don't know if you could classify it as a horror movie, but it made me more terrified and messed me up psychologically more than any other real actual true horror movie has.
Wow.
So.
I don't know. I don't think I'm into that.
It's all about this group of people and all of their lives end up the worst possible position you can imagine. Like just in all different ways. It's not just like it's not even just like they die horrific deaths or anything. Almost worse than that is like they just go on to live these lives where they're like it's like hopeless, where they're never ending of misery.
I don't think I need to read that. I mean, watch that. Yeah. I don't or look at that. Oh, how about Tiny Onion's Nice House on the Lake?
I've not read that. I haven't even read Something Is Killing the Children either.
Those are both great.
Yeah, so I'm behind the 8 ball on both those. Behind the 8 ball. What do you say on that? What's that phrase?
Yeah, behind the 8 ball, but that means you have them to look forward to.
Yes, that's what I mean then.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a comic that I know you like because I've seen it on your channel.
Oh yeah, I need to read the sequel. I haven't.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't read it either yet. Volume 2. I've read Volume 1.
Right. I read Volume 1 multiple times. There's so much that you can uncover reading and rereading it.
Just as like an overall package of a comic book. Like it's like unlike anything else you'll read.
Yeah.
It's really, really brilliant stuff.
And I think she got sick and got way behind on it, which is why there was, 7 years or whatever between books, or 6 years.
Yeah, I think you did cover Volume 1 like early in your channel, like early Omnidog Vault. So James Abel, find that video. It's a challenge for you.
I don't know if I dedicated. It may have been on my best of list. I can't remember.
Even better, it'll be harder for him to find. But there's also some issues with that Emil Ferris had with the publisher, Fantagraphics, which I covered on one of my early Taylor Talks Comics live shows that I do once a week, where I talk about comic book news. And there's like some tension between her and Fantagraphics, and it almost went to court at one point.
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty nasty. But Fantagraphics though has like been published or promoting Volume 2 to the heck. Like it's like they've been pumping up their I can't talk tonight. Their promotional machine behind Volume 2. And I think I looked the other day, as far as Fantagraphics books for the year, Volume 1 and Volume 2 are in the top 3 in sales charts on Amazon.
Oh, so Volume 1 got a bump in sales too.
Which Volume 1 was like a massive, massive hit for them that year. Like the year that it came out was like their top selling book it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
To the number 2. So they knew book 2 would be a huge hit. But then she says there's going to be a prequel, but I don't know if she signed a deal or if she's just in like a handshake deal at this point, but she said she's going to release it through Pantheon and not through Graphics. But I don't even know if she started work on that, so that'll be a number of years away if she does.
Okay.
But
I do need to read that. That might be good for me to read for October.
It's one of my books I still need to read for October.
Rami says, Requiem for a Dream made me think twice before I took over-the-counter painkillers. Is there something in there about Tylenol and Advil and stuff or something?
Well, there is about like opiates and stuff, or opioids.
Oh, those are prescription ones then. They're not over-the-counter.
Oh, maybe. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Maybe there is something about that. I don't know. I just remember what happened to the mom and then what happened to Jennifer Connelly at the end. But
well, it sounds like I'm not watching that movie. Harvey's saying hello. My wife. I just got a text from my wife, so just sag. I love you both too. Exclamation point. Huh. Let's see. Enjoyed the first deluxe edition of 30 Days a Night, and I'm going to reread. Oh, I don't think I knew there was a book 2. Oh, is that what just came out? The one with the big open mouth on the cover?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. A book that I'm going to try and write for Tony from Sweden's blog. I'm definitely going to do an overview and talk about it. Is Little Monsters by Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. The art is amazing. It's black and white with, which I think is very effective, with little traces of red in it. And I don't think I would have. I'm not sure I would have picked up on the fact that this was Dustin Nguyen art. I feel like it looks a little bit different, but maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, is he not using watercolors in that?
It looks like pen work to me. And then it looks like the textures are different. But it's about a group of young vampires after the apocalypse, and they have been trained to never attack humans, to only survive on small animals. And it's what happens to their moral code when they accidentally on purpose, they end up going after a human, and several of them do, and they feel different. And it's what happens to their moral code, because they actually did have a moral code. And it's a pretty effective character study on little kids as vampires that start out with with kind of a, now this looks like Dustin Nguyen to me, this big red comic book cover. But it is what happens with how they were brought up and taught, and the evolution of it, and what happens. It's pretty interesting what different paths they all take, and I found it a very effective character study on young vampires.
You said you're writing up a review for it?
Well, I'm trying to. I'm not really a writer. He has a blog, and Tony has been a good pen pal of mine. I don't know that I'm actually going to have the time. I still haven't done Jake's thing with the crossovers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
No.
Okay. I feel a little bit better.
I still haven't even decided which one I'm going to do, honestly. Don't tell him that.
I have figured that out, but I'm not really a writer anymore. If this was high school or college, maybe just afterwards, I was writing a lot, but I haven't written. I haven't really written anything forever. So I don't know, but highly recommend this book, and I will definitely be going over it in October.
trying to think of. Oh, speaking of Dracula, have you ever read?
Speaking of Dracula, that's what Sasmurf just said.
Oh, that's funny.
Marvel's been releasing new volumes of Tomb of Dracula Masterworks the last few Octobers, which I've been enjoying.
Man, I have fallen in love with Gene Colan's artwork over the last couple of years, and I've never read Tomb of Dracula, and I cannot wait. I'm assuming we're going to get, because volumes 1 and 2 finished like number 2 and 3 on the Neonomicon edition poll for reprints. I'm assuming, I don't know anything. I guess I should say this too. I do social media for Omar, but I have no knowledge of this. So don't think I'm trying to uncover some sort of announcement or anything. But I'm assuming, because like what Sasmurf just said, they're waiting till October. So I'm thinking next October we might get a reprint of like volume 1 maybe, and it'll be like masterworked. Because like the last time they did the omnibuses, they weren't masterworked, like the restoration or whatever.
Oh, restored art.
Yeah. But this is the Dracula I was talking about. Have you ever read this? This is the Mike Mignola adaptation of
the movie of Coppola's
movie. Yeah.
No, I've not seen it.
Okay, so this was in the early '90s. This is like, I think pre-Hellboy even. But it like, yeah, I think it was pre-Hellboy. But it like, I don't know if are you familiar with like Mike Mignola's like '80s work in like superhero comics? '80s, early '90s.
A little.
Where like you could tell it's Mignola, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite that Hellboy stuff, right? This is kind of like his debut of like that style of like spotting the blacks and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So this was a release by IDW, and I think this is really wildly out of print too, just to warn everybody. But this is a black and white reprint. So I actually have the single issue here, and it was in color. So you see, like it's very Hellboy.
Oh yeah,
right.
Those tones are definitely Hellboy.
Yeah, it's not Dave Stewart on colors, but it's definitely that same color scheme and treatment and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then IDW did this full black and white version, so you really get to see Mike Mignola's artwork in all its glory, which I do love the color treatment that Dave Stewart gives to Hellboy and whatnot. And I think Mike Mignola himself is a really good really great storyteller when it comes to color, because I know he works like kind of hand in hand with Dave Stewart on the colors and stuff. Like he has because I have a lot of issues with modern colorists. Make everything like realistic and brown. Like they always brown everything up. But Mike Mignola does a good job of like making sure like there's like one shining color in certain moments of scenes that really kind of let that character stand out or let that moment stand out in a big way. The single issue though, it was by Topps. Remember Topps Comics, like the trading card company?
Yeah,
and it came with trading cards.
Oh, cool! What cool mementos!
I know these were like it was like in a sealed bag when I bought it.
Those are cool collectibles.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a video on my channel this month comparing the single issue colored version and the black and white IDW version.
Larry says Cronenberg Videodrome is the best. Videodrome is awesome. Like a Velvet Glove is great. Black Hole is awesome. I did get Final Cut this past week. I did order it. I have the English version of Final Cut and the European versions. Gonna compare the quality.
Yeah, but it was like originally printed in French, I think. In 3 volumes.
Okay, Harvey full on yelling at us. He didn't spend a number of years not releasing anything. I bought many new Charles Burns books over the last several years.
But not like comics though, right? Like you did like art books and like sketchbooks and stuff. I don't know. I guess Final Cut he had been working on for the last few years.
Yeah, Something That's Killing the Children is my favorite. Ongoing. Up there it is. Omnidog's Vault Root Beer Reviews. Best comic of 2017. My favorite things is Monsters and Kaiju Max.
Man, James, you really came up on that one.
I think that was my first year. Wow.
But Kaiju Max is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have all 3 volumes now?
I don't. I need to get them.
Do you have 2 volumes?
I don't know. I feel like they got taken from me in the flood of 2017.
Oh, that was 2017?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I just have been, 7 years I haven't replaced them because I have so many other things I'm trying to read.
Well, volume 3 is the finale, if that helps you at all. So, but those are great monster comics.
Yeah, they really are. I didn't know that Emil Ferris got sick. There was a drawn-out lawsuit, yes, as Taylor said, and publishing issues that had to get resolved, which lasted years. There's a couple of books that I know I did. I can't remember if the minister and I reviewed these or if I reviewed these myself, but they were Joe Hill's Hill House comics for DC.
James Abel, that's your cue.
The first one is Plunge. These are psychological horror. One of them, Basketball Heads, has some good humor in it, though. 1983, state-of-the-art drilling ship, the Derlith, vanished to the Arctic Circle. Decades later, it has begun sending a distress call, tracing the signature to a remote atoll in the Bering Strait. The oil company hires. They've got to go find this ghost ship that all of a sudden has started sending out a distress signal that's been missing for years. So it's this group that goes to see what's up with this ghost ship, and it's full of very deadly surprises. Book is called The Plunge, and it's got aliens and humans and things that aren't quite dead or aren't quite alive anymore. I really Joe Hill did a really good job on several of these books.
Are those your two favorite of the Hill House books?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is really I really enjoyed The Plunge. And then Basket Full of Heads, if I recall correctly, June Branch is in trouble. She's trapped on Brody Island with nowhere to run. Her boyfriend Liam has been kidnapped, and 4 bloodthirsty escaped convicts will stop at nothing to find her. Oh, I know. It's like a slasher film, sort of, with the girl on the run. But she definitely can save herself. But if I recall correctly, she keeps she has a special sword that axe that she discovers that's a magic axe that can protect her from all the creeps on this island, and she whacks their heads off, but their heads stay alive. They stop attacking her, but she's got this basket full of heads that are part of the ongoing dialogue in this. She's like on an island, and a hurricane has knocked out all power, and there's a serial killer loose.
That sounds amazing. I didn't know that's what that book was about.
And she's a complete and total badass, and she goes into that survival mode with the axe, even though all these people turn out against her. And there's like here's the Basketball Heads that's still talking. She's a great strong female protagonist, and she knows she learns people she trusted she shouldn't have, and it's got a great ending. And I think this was my top Joe Hill book, was Basketball of Heads.
Yeah, that's on my list. I didn't know that was about. I know of all the Hill House books. I know they exist, but I haven't looked into anything about what they're about or anything about them. So
yeah, there's also one, The Low Woods. That's very creepy. I don't even know if I can talk about what it's about on the air. It's also good, but then there's another one that I genuinely disliked. It's not by Joe Hill. Daphne something.
Oh, I think I heard that was pretty not great.
Oof. It was rough. Yeah. And by rough, I mean it was not well written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like under the Hill House imprint or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
I haven't seen anything recently.
Yeah, I haven't either. Interesting. Have you read, which I think you have, Monsters?
Oh yeah, I
This
did a whole
is
I did a whole video on that and the controversy behind it with where the idea came from and what happened.
with Jim Shooter and the whole comic and
Yeah, and the plagiarism and stuff.
yeah, absolutely amazing. I reread it again just for this October, and I think it's firmly behind The Black Hole as my number 2 all-time favorite monster comic or horror comic. It is just brilliant stuff, and Barry Windsor Smith is just an incredible artist. I think all of his entire catalog of work has been like brilliant. I do wish he was still making comics, but I think this was his swan song, and I don't think you could go out in a better way in a career than this masterpiece. I think it is his magnum opus. I don't know that I love all of his work, but this thing is just. I think that like the artwork in it is obviously brilliant, but the writing of it, with all the characters and how they're layered, and like the callbacks to certain characters, and how like it'll be like one character you get introduced to in the beginning of the book, but then towards the end they come back up and you recognize them right away because this art's so great, and you recognize them and you're like, holy crap, and it makes you want to go back and start over and reread it again to like connect the dots. While you know it ahead of time. And those are my favorite kind of comics, are ones that like warrant rereading. And that's definitely one of them. But I absolutely love that. If anybody has not read that, you have to pick that up.
Oh, it's highly recommended. That was one of my books of the year whenever it came out.
Yeah, I think 2021. It was definitely my number 1 book that year.
That sounds right. When is Taylor going to talk about Bray Fogel and Kelly Jones?
Oh, I don't have anything prepared for you that one. But I do. I'm surprised you don't like Kelly Jones' Dead Man, though.
It's because I grew up with the original Dead Man, and then that version of Kelly Jones' Dead Man is just so radically different. I just could not get used to it.
I get that, but
I mean, if there are fans out there of it, then obviously it's a me problem. So,
well, I mean, you think of the name of the character Dead Man. I don't know that anybody drew him creepier, like weirder looking than Kelly Jones.
Well, you're certainly right about that.
No, I like the Neil Adams stuff too. You got me on that bandwagon. I have the omnibus back there. You can see it right there in between the old witch and the skeleton, actually.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Perfectly posed right there. I did that on purpose.
Nice. American Vampire by Scott Snyder is a really fun Spooktober read. You are correct. It's my second favorite work of his after Batman the Black Mirror, and one of the last great Vertigo titles we got.
That's one I have not read, actually.
Well, you're in for a treat. That's one I need to. I read that when it first came out, and I'm not sure that I ever even finished it. So I need to reread that. I don't know if I can read it all in time for Spooktober, because I'm trying to keep it on the magic, supernatural, occult thing that people have been asking for, and less of the horror.
Do you have both the omnibuses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ian Parker Art, hello, how are y'all? Wanted to know if you've seen the Bernie Wrightson take on Frankenstein. I have.
Yes. Bernie Wrightson is like one of the Bronze Age masters of horror, I guess, because he did come after the EC guys, but just a total master artist in horror. And his Frankenstein stuff was like his life's work. He did that for fun. Like he wasn't like doing it because he's being paid or commissioned or anything. And there's like an oft rumored artist edition that Scott Dunbier, I guess, he's the guy that does all the artist editions for IDW, and now he's got his own company. He's teased the idea of this Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein artist edition for years, and I guess it's gonna be like, I guess because the artist edition's always done true to size of how, like, the size of the paper they drew on, and I guess the paper that Wrightson drew on, which you can imagine with all the little details in the works, is like huge. So like this book's gonna be like massive. It's gonna make like Batman Year One look small, probably.
I would totally get that.
Do you have the Batman Year One artist edition?
I don't. I generally don't collect artist editions.
It's a rabbit hole you don't need to go down if you don't want to.
Yeah. Especially if upper management's watching right now. I don't want her. I want her to know that I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But
that's just being responsible and not buying the expensive books.
I am thinking about getting the Neil Adams artist edition. I haven't seen when it's coming out. I guess November now. But
yeah, I think it did get pushed back. But
okay,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I am very much considering that one. This is one Cycle agrees with me on. This is book 1 of 4 deluxe editions. It's got a compendium that's coming out this month.
Yeah, I saw you and Cycle both hyping it up in your last live stream, which everyone could go watch the replay.
Yeah, it was live.
I have not read this though, so you have to sell me on this.
Okay, it's really good. First of all, there's a dynamic of a young woman who's taking over the position of her father's. It's a small Wisconsin town, so it's very snowy, and it's happening during winter. And she is her father is like the head sheriff, and she's like the associate sheriff, something in there. So she's under there's familial pressure on her to do well, but it turns out there's something going through the population where the dead aren't dying. They're coming back to life just as they like they'll die and then they'll bury them and then they come back to life. But they're sentient. It's not like they're zombies. They are sentient. And so this young woman has to figure out how to stop this happening from spreading, because the press, of course, picks up on it and they descend upon the small town. And here's a woman that we thought was dead, and now she's all of a sudden coming back to life with all her various wounds, and she's in the autopsy room. So it's amazing. Tim Seeley does a great job. The art is great. And they're trying, it's just an outbreak of people that are coming back to life, and they're trying to figure out how it happened, how to keep it from spreading. And she's got this ongoing pressure from her father, to keep doing her job properly. And it's kind of like, what happens there? Wait, who shot her? Oh, yeah, and there's like a ghostish type creature that shows up that has something to do with it all. But yeah, there's no shortage of people getting thwacked and killed, and she takes damage to herself. And I found this to be one of my favorite books of all. This is just really good because she really doesn't know who to trust and what's happening here.
And does that compendium? Oh, the compendium's 1,200 pages.
Yeah, so that must be the whole thing.
It's 47 issues, 1 through 47. Is that the whole thing? That
sounds right. Yeah, this is book 1. It's 1 through 11. So I imagine that's 4. These are the 4 deluxe ones from Image.
That's awesome. That sounds great. I think there is something about like a small town setting for horror that I think really plays well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, some of these last. Ooh, this is grisly. What's happening here? I need to reread this. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on here. Yeah, it's gripping because they try and contain it in the small town and don't want help from anybody.
And who's the artist on that?
Mike Norton.
And he does the art, the whole series?
I believe so.
Okay.
And then Jenny Persan did all the covers, which of course makes it even better.
Right. I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, I think you'd dig it.
So earlier you talked about Strange Sports. A little bit EC action here.
Ooh.
This just came out.
Is that the Jack Davis stuff?
Yep.
It's so twisted.
I know. It has the baseball story that famously was talked about in front of the state senate. Not a lot of comic books can say that, right? But Jack Davis is my all-time favorite EC artist, and you can see there's the one of the
This
horror
just came
hosts here.
out.
Yeah, this just came out like last week.
This looks like something I'd be interested in.
It's all black and white reprints, but it
Is
really
it-
like
It's all EC horror.
yeah. So Fantagraphics, they collect all EC comics in these black and white editions, these books, and they let me grab a couple here. They're artist centric, so like they and their spines look great together.
Oh, is that Al Kamen? Jack Kamen.
Jack Kamen, yeah, Kamen's Calamity. So they're artist centric. So that, like one volume will collect all the artist, and usually each volume keeps to like one genre. So it'll be like Jack Kamen's horror comics, and then Jack Davis's war comics, or Jack Davis's horror comics. So sometimes they'll mix like sci-fi and crime in one volume, but for the most part they're kept separate. And but there's 37 volumes so far.
Oh my goodness.
Here's Jack Davis's war comics.
Oh. And how many do you have? Do you have all 37?
I do now.
Holy smoke.
So it's like my pride and joy in my collection is getting them all together and taking a picture of all, because they look great together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a new video, because I did a video showing off all of them when I got to like number 30 a couple years ago on my channel. So then this month in October, I'm going to do an updated video with all of them, showing them all off. And they're getting close to the finishing of the, I think there's gonna be like 45 volumes maybe when it's all said and done. But I love EC Comics. That's how I collect them though, is in those editions. I don't really love the modern coloring of the Dark Horse reprints. But these are like really well handy, like little, you can throw this on a backpack and read it. Nice little handy hardcovers. And they have a lot of like historical stuff, like essays and stuff in the back and front of the books too, which I love too. I love anything about comic book history. So, but Jack Davis is my favorite EC artist. Like just his blend of like cartoony style works so well in every genre. Like that cartooniness with like horror, like works so well together in like the most perfect way. So yeah, if I'll play, I think it's actually a second. Yeah, because there's another volume of Jack Davis horror called Taint the Meat.
Oh yeah,
which was,
I remember that story.
I think it was like the second volume. Yeah, because they're all named after a story. But I think that's the second volume they released of these hardcovers. So there's actually 2 Jack Davis horror volumes. You don't have to have every single volume. They don't have like numbers on them or anything. You can just pick up your favorite artist out of them, or your favorite genre or something. So there's a recommendation. EC Comics for sure. Any EC Comics.
Yeah. Reaper, what's up? You had left a question. You left a question as a message on the most recent yesterday's recorded collected edition for October about Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman. That's going to be 2 volumes. So don't get the latest paperback that's been solicited. It will be 2 volumes, but also don't get rid of everything just yet, because I think if you go to Dom of X, I don't think Dom's in the chat anymore, but Dom has a video interview with Philip Kennedy Johnson where they talk about some stuff that may be left out of both omnibuses. So go to that Dom of X interview. It's Dom of X YouTube, and check out what exactly will and won't be. He talked about it on the live stream previous to this. There are going to be some decisions made about chopping some out to make it flow better, like Superman and the Authority. Regarding War World, the whole War World thing, when he takes the Authority there, so that it may be, I don't know. I'm not getting rid of anything yet until I see what's going to be in this omnibus.
That's Dom of X Studio on YouTube.
Dom of X Studio. Thank you.
Which I'm sure James Abel has the link already for us, but
let's see. Up there it is.
Look at that.
Nicely done. Question, Taylor, were those EC books color originally?
Yeah, like when the comics first came out, they were. But there's never been reprints of the original coloring. So I know, Larry, I'm pretty sure I remember you saying in the past that you prefer colored comics. You're not the biggest fan of black and white.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind modern recoloring, then the Dark Horse route would be the way to go. And those trade paperbacks they've been releasing are such a great value. For like $19.99, you get 200 pages of magazine trim size EC comics. Like, I can't recommend that route enough if you're not opposed to modern recoloring. Now, there are rumors that this is a big deal because it's going to be like life changing for EC Comics fans. Which I know, Larry, you got one of these. That these giant Taschen editions.
Oh my goodness!
That there's going to be that Taschen's got to deal with EC to reprint them in these giant, massive editions.
Oh my gosh!
So,
now that I may have to go for.
So I talked about that, and they're going to be thicker than those. They're going to be 800 pages, but they're going to be like, I don't know. Have you seen one of those Taschen editions in person yet, Jess?
I don't think so.
They're like, I have videos on my channel for Silver Surfer, X-Men, and I have all the volumes now, but you have to see one in person. They're such beautiful books, and they have like glossy hardstock covers, but then the inside interior is like this. Taschen made their own recipe for this paper, but it's like to emulate newsprint, but it's like a thicker newsprint, and it won't yellow over time.
Wow.
And they're true facsimile edition copies, so they have like all the ads and letters and everything, as if you grab that actual issue off the stands and then they blew it up into this giant size. Like, that's what it's like. So there's a listing on all these European comic book shops. Taschen's the weirdest thing with their solicits. Like, here's an example. So volume 2 of the Avengers just came out, of the Taschen and Marvel books. That solicit wasn't even on their website, or couldn't be found anywhere until like a month ago. So like, we know these solicits are like months in advance, like for all other publishers, but Taschen, for some reason, it's like a month before the book comes out.
Wow.
So there's this picture image of Weird Science by EC Comics, and it looks like one of these giant Taschen books. And there's all these weird listings on these European websites that we found for this book. And it's like 800 pages, and it's the same trim size, but nobody can get confirmation from Taschen this is like a real thing, if this is coming out. But the rumor is that they're going to do all of EC Comics in that same format.
Where's Taschen based?
Like, I think Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. But they do amazing work. Like, their books, truly, you have to see it in person to like appreciate. And I know Larry just got Silver Surfer when they just had a big sale, because they are hefty prices.
Yeah.
They're like $200 cover price. And
you buy them from Taschen?
You can buy them from Taschen, but you also, Organic Price Books, your sponsor, has them for like $180. So they're discounted. And then if you use the Omnidog code, you save $2 more.
Yeah, and 5% if you're shipping 4 of them.
Right. So I know that you can save a little bit of money that way, but then Taschen does like an annual sale once a year for things that are 50% off. Not everything. It's listed certain books. And that's where a lot of people got the Silver Surfer recently.
Okay.
For $100, which I think is a great deal for what you're getting for it. Because that Silver Surfer book collects the entirety of the Stan Lee, John Buscema run. But yeah, this EC rumor it's got me going. Like, every day I'm going on the website to see if it pops up officially or not.
Keep me posted on that. That is something I would be interested in.
Yeah, because it'll be the original color. So that's what my whole point I was trying to get back to.
Right.
What Taschen does with their reprints, they don't do like Marvel Masterworks. They do it the best way. They take like a full scan of original comic book they get from, like, I think they get partnership with CGC. So CGC sends them like the best copy they can find of that book, like an 8.0 or whatever. They bust it open, take really good high quality scans of it, blow it up, and they might touch up a little colors here and there, but for the most part, it's true facsimile, like as if you brought the comic book off the stands.
Oh wow, okay.
Because I'm not a big fan of like the Marvel recoloring. It's like garish, and like they oversaturate the colors and whatnot. They don't, because back in the day, like, like with newsprint comics, like when the colors were coloring those comics, they took into account as going to be on newsprint, which soaks up the color differently. So when you take that exact same color and you put it on a high glossy, bright white paper, it's going to look different.
Which is what happened to the Neil Adams Batman omnibus.
Yeah, and I don't think Marvel takes that into account when they do their masterworks and things. And some people, I think Omar gives me a hard time about it because he likes the Marvel way, but of course he does because they pay him, $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
But, just kidding. But I love it to be
We're
restored just like as if you bought the comic book off the stand. Like I want it to look just like the original comic book.
Yeah. Back Cato's got, these are 2 books I just got. Boom's The Approach, and I got books 2 and 3 of Red Mother. I know Red Mother's by Jeremy Hahn. I don't remember who wrote The Approach, but Reaper's in the chat. He's the one that recommended. I know he at least recommended The Approach to me and The Agent, and I got those. I'm not sure recommended Red Mother. I had Red Mother 1, and so I got books 2 and 3. But yeah, those are good recommendations, Back Cato. Lucas is watching this. We're getting a 5,000 piece puzzle. Hokey smokes.
What's it a puzzle of?
Legos? So far for October, I plan on reading Infidel, which is great. It's about a sentient racist apartment building. And all the new Image Creepshow comics. Infidel, good choice.
The inspiration for our thumbnail.
Yeah.
Was the original Bernie Wrightson comic of Creepshow.
Yeah, and I want to get that Creepshow book that's coming out the last week in October. That looks really good too.
Does that collect all of the Creepshow comics so far, like the modern ones?
I honestly don't know. I'd have to go to comic releases. James, what is the Creepshow that's coming out October 29th? What does that collect, buddy? Can you tell us?
Because I've seen those Creepshow comics come out the last couple of years. I just don't know. I haven't followed them. I haven't picked them up or not. So I don't know.
Yeah. Spooey says American Vampire is one very dumb cliched moment, but otherwise I thought it was a fun read. Okay. 2 out of 2 Omnis, 1 dumb thing. That's pretty good. William Lee's here. What up, William? Favorite Joe Hill book? Basket Full of Heads over Lock and Key? Ooh, Lock and Key actually messed me up. I found Lock and Key to be a masterful psychological horror book. That is a good call, YP. I mean, I love Basket Full of Heads, but man, Lock and Key did something to me. Wow.
I need to reread Lock and Key. I read the first trade a few years ago and it just didn't land with me. I want to give it another shot.
It's hard for a comic book to affect me the way a movie does. First, being frightening, but Lock and Key was genuinely frightening to me.
Yeah.
And not a lot of comic books. I mean, comic books can be scary, but they won't fill me with dread or horror like Lock and Key did. Oh, this is good. I remember these. Lars says my favorite Charles Burns comics must be the El Borba stories. Where were those collected in? I know I have those somewhere.
They were. Hold on, let me try to find.
Okay.
I have Big Baby. I don't have El Borba.
Oh right, Big Baby. Yeah.
But Fangraphix did these hardcovers that are odd because they don't have there's nothing on the spine.
Oh.
But they're done like French albums, and they're all way out of print. So El Borba is one of the ones that I still need. But yeah, there's definitely that surreal David Lynchian like type of horror in these books.
I read Big Baby when it was serialized in this local community paper when I first moved to Washington, City Paper.
Really?
And Big Baby was serialized in it. Yeah.
It's wild.
Like page by page.
Do you still have any of those?
Oh, City Papers? No, I didn't keep them.
Yeah, his Just an absolute master of the brush. Oh, here's some. Look, he invented Mike Wazowski. Before Mike Wazowski was a thing, he invented him.
Yeah. Yeah, I love his stuff.
No, El Borba is definitely one that I always try to track down, but I don't have.
Bernie writes on sci-fi. Oh, sci-fi is turning Revival into a TV series. Melanie Scrofano, Winona Earp, I remember watching that show, has been cast in it.
Oh.
She's a really good actress. I like her. I need to get back into Winona Earp. I dropped off years ago, but I thought that was a fun sci-fi channel book. Taylor, those EC prints are so cool. Diamondbacks. Does Fantagraphics reprint those EC collections, or am I out of luck on the ones that are out of print?
They do, and my recommendation would also to put a save search on eBay. You can find some because they're like the price on them has gone up. They started off at like $24.99 a piece. Cover price now they're up to $34.99. Like all books have come up in price, right? Because this line started like 10 years ago or something. And I will say I got into it a couple years late. And the first 2 volumes that came out was like Al Williamson, 50 Girls 50 sci-fi book, and then Taint the Meat by Jack Davis. Those were like the 2 that are like way out of print. You couldn't find anywhere. And they have reprinted those since then. So they do come back into print. Just be patient, but I'd also do some save searches on eBay because you can find some good deals for them for like $15 a piece. Sometimes people sell them if you're trying to accumulate the whole collection.
This is what Harvey's talking about. These were the ones that I got. The gemstone color reprints, the hardcovers. Those are the ones that I have.
And they're in color?
Yeah.
With the original coloring?
Yeah.
Oh, and you have those?
I have a bunch of them, but I never completed. I have like 1 through 3 of everything.
Okay.
And I feel like I dropped off. I'm missing some, I'm missing some of them, suspense stories and weird fantasy, whatever. I mean, I'm missing some of them, but I have a bunch of them. And Gemstone, he's right. They were really good.
I didn't know those were in color because I know those, and then the Russ Cochran volumes, which I think those are black and white. I'm familiar with those, but they're like way out of print. So
I think those came before the Gemstone reprints, the Russ Cochran ones.
So when I got into collecting EC, it was either like the Fantagraphics route or Dark Horse. Was really were my 2 choices.
Here's Taylor Talks Comics X-Men from Taschen.
There we go.
Nice.
One of my recent videos.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do my best job showing it off in those videos, but really you have to see it in person to appreciate it.
I wonder how, if I got a Taschen book, how I would rig up an overhead shot.
It's interesting. The Batman Year One was the hardest.
Big. Wow.
Batman Year One was the hardest one for me to rig up. I'm in a basement down here, and the ceiling is extremely low. So rigging up a camera was interesting. I was at my max of how high I can go.
Yeah,
over that.
I do it with my iPhone, and I'm trying to think if I put it on the floor and maybe I'd have to turn my stand around that holds the iPhone for my overviews. If I pivoted it, I could do it on the floor, and I'd have to get on the floor with the book to flip the pages. That'd be funny.
I have a microphone stand that I rig up. This is my high tech what I do. So I have like one of those microphone stands. My microphone I use actually doesn't fit in it, but I put my iPhone on top of it, and then it has like this long arm.
Oh, okay.
It goes up and over.
Okay, that makes sense. Taschen EC history book was super good.
Yes, I have that as well, and there's a video on my channel showing that off.
I did a video on my Taschen Silver Surfer. Yeah, Taschen are the best books. They come pre-stretched. You're Super Laugh Hard. Hi, Justin Taylor. Sorry I'm late. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Super Laugh Hard.
Yes, Super Laugh Hard. How you doing?
And James has posted Larry's Library unboxing the Power Cosmic Taschen Silver Surfer. Nice. James, put some of my videos in the chat. What's going on? What is the Taschen trim size? That's a good question.
On all my videos showing off Taschen, I do size comparisons to single issue comic books and omnibuses and whatnot. But it is 11 inches by 15.5.
Okay.
And I know that because I just did a video announcing a Donald Duck book they're doing at the same trim size. It's like a coffee table book, so it's not like it will have comics in it, but it's more of like a coffee table history book.
I am currently custom binding Judge Dredd for Taylor. Yeah. What the hell?
What? Oh, sorry.
What? Show your boy some love. What are you talking about? Taylor doesn't need Judge Dredd. Oh, I have a ton of Judge Dredd. So
of course I do. Everyone needs it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Super Laugh Hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've been in communication through email.
And he's sending Larry Library. He's kindly agreed to post them on to you. What? Yeah. What's happening here?
I think he mentioned your name too.
Perhaps. Okay. Well, here, this is a kind of a no-brainer book. Harrow County.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I think it's been re-released in a compendium.
Yeah, I think there's 2 paperback omnibuses or 4 library editions, but now they're doing that monster edition. Do you see that?
Oh no, I don't think I saw that.
Oh man,
I got the
like the monster size Hellboy and Big Damn Sin City.
Yeah,
same trim size, same thickness. There's Harrow County, and Tyler Crook did a new like cover for it and everything. It comes in like I think it's coming in a slipcase too.
Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so put it in the private chat, and I can highlight it. Let me highlight myself because I know everybody knows about Harrow County, but it is super creepy. One of Cullen. Oh, Sixth Gun too. I should go get Sixth Gun. Cullen Bunn, I think, is the top horror writer. This is not my opinion. This is fact. So shut up and don't argue with me, everybody. Cullen Bunn is currently the best horror writer we have. Don't argue with me. I'm telling you, this is about a crazy haunted forest and a girl that can see what's happening in the forest that are a bunch of, they call them, wait, do they call them taints? There's all kinds of weird little creatures that happen. There's all kinds of otherworldly nonsense, just crazy stuff that happens. And Tyler Crook's art is just amazing in it. There's witches, there's goblins, the undead rise. It's so good. Harrow County is just the best, and one of the best Cullen Bunn books. And I forgot about Sixth Gun. When I highlight Taylor again, I'll go grab some Sixth Gun, and I will sing the praises of it. I don't know if these are in print still or not, but
I don't think they are. I think those are way out of print.
Okay, then Taylor has.
It's in the private in the chat of the.
Okay, yeah. Let me go to where Taylor's talking about Instagram.
It's a little video of Tyler Crook unboxing it. I think it's just a quick little video. But
can I pause it?
Maybe.
Yes, I can. Okay, just a sec. Let me share it, and we'll. So it's already out enough so that Tyler Crook's already gotten his copy.
Yeah, I think it comes out. Well, I guess it wasn't on your solicits though. When does it come out? You show that, and I'll look up.
Harrow County, big fat Harrow County, or something was on her solicits.
No. I'm saying it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't. No. So I don't know when it's going to be out.
It says November. Man, they couldn't get that out in October. November 26th.
Okay. So here he is. This is Tyler Crook unboxing. Let's see what this is. Oh, fancy. Comes in so cardboard box. He has a helper there. Good. Oh, whoa. Look at that.
So that's the slipcase. Like it looks like a old small town, like antique, like cigar box or something, right?
Yeah. And then he's unwrapping it too. Cool.
Yeah, wait till he pulls the book out. Like they really, you could tell you like really put his love and heart and soul into this version.
And that must be what, a print that came with it? Okay, yeah. I
That's
like
like
to
the
keep those
leaflet.
with it. Yeah, the little leaflet things. I like to keep those with it.
Yeah. Is he gonna show the book? I'm pretty sure he pulls it out.
Come on, Tyler. What are you doing?
Yeah, we're waiting for you, man. Okay, we see it. Looks cool.
There we go. Okay, come on. Don't tease us too much.
Look at that.
Ooh. Okay. That's what we saw. Just been pulling it out.
That's the whole series in one.
That's awesome.
The other link I sent you was like the solicit image of like the promo image of the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me share that because this is cool looking. Stores November 26th. Look at this big honking thing. Completes the entire Southern Gothic fairy tale in one beautiful volume.
I can't believe they didn't get that on time for Halloween, though.
I think this is awesome.
Yeah. So does that make you want to?
No.
Are you gonna keep your library editions?
Yeah. I can definitely see why somebody would want that, though. Those are beautiful.
Do you want me to show off something while you go get Sixth Gun?
Yeah, sure. Lucas says The Avengers, a 5,000 piece puzzle.
Ooh,
that's a lot. Okay, so you're gonna show something on?
Yeah.
Okay, I will highlight you and go get Sixth Gun.
All right. So this is Adventures into Terror. These are the new Atlas library reprints that Fantagraphics is doing. So Marvel has farmed out the Atlas license, which, if you're not familiar, Atlas was what Marvel was called in the 50s before Fantastic Four #1 came out and that kind of thing. And this was the first release they did called Adventures into Terror. And I'm glad that they farmed this out to Fantagraphics because everything I just talked about with the restoration of color. Who does the color restoration? I always forget his name. Dang it. I'll get his name in a second. But he does all the restoration on this, and he does an amazing job getting him down to the original coloring. So it looks like you just pulled these off the racks. And they have the covers in them and everything. Let me see if I can find a cover. This collects like the first 7 or 8 issues of Adventures into Terror. So these are pre-code horror, though. These came out in early 50s. The Comics Code Authority, if you're not familiar, came out in 1954. And everything after 54 was kind of like the sanitized horror comic kind of thing where they couldn't, they had to make sure the kids weren't, being delinquents because of it and whatnot. So definitely push the envelope. But these Atlas reprints have great essays in the beginning written by Dr. Michael Vassallo, who's like the go-to authority on all Atlas era comics. And there's like 10 to 15 pages of essays written all about Atlas, which is great. I love learning about comic book history. And Dr. Vassallo is the main guy to do that, I believe, for Atlas. But just really great comics. Fun pre-code horror comics if you're into EC comics and things. And this volume collects artists such as Joe Manili, Basil Wolverton, Joe Sinnott, Carl Burgos, George Tuska, Gene Colan, Russ Heath. So this one is really
What
cool.
years were those from? Those were pre-code. Okay.
Pre-code, so 50, 51.
That's cool. Jewish Dragon says the Taschen physical stores also have pretty good sales, usually around the winter holidays. Where are the Taschen physical stores, though?
I think in America, though, I know I think there's one in New York, maybe LA, like they're the bigger populated cities.
Not Washington, D.C.
I mean, you probably have better luck there than I do here in Indiana, but
well, I could take a bus ride up to New York and just get them. Ooh, I love the sound of that. Bus ride, don't have to drive in New York. Just take me to Taschen, get my books, get it back on the Bolt bus.
Be sure to look up to see if there actually is a store in New York, though, before you do that.
Yeah, before you get my hopes up. I'm all excited about going now.
I went to New York a few years ago, and I didn't go to a Taschen store, but I had so many comic book stores and stuff on my list that I I did just fine with the places I went, but I didn't look to see if there's a Taschen store.
Somebody out there, try to find us. Juice Dragons, you find it. Wait, you brought it up. It's your responsibility. Where are the Taschen stores in the United States? Come on, buddy, help me out. I don't mind recolors as long as they are enhancing the original aesthetic. When they start adding in shades and gradients and shadows or a million different colors on the page, then I'm out. I can't disagree.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's like, I don't understand that mentality. I understand modernizing it for a modern audience, but really, I feel like the main audience that's buying them is the ones that want the original, right? I don't know.
I am. You can't convince me against it. That Swamp Thing recoloring is an abomination, and it's just. I kept my standard size hardcovers. I think it ruins the aesthetic of Swamp Thing. And you can't convince me not.
I have the absolutes. I want to get the trade paperbacks or the box set or something with the original, but my hope is that DC will, when they do an omnibus, because it's inevitable that they do an Alan Moore Swamp Thing omnibus, they do the original coloring, and I think that'd be genius for them, because then everyone that bought the absolutes would go buy that omnibus, as well as everyone that wants that omnibus to exist. If they just do like the same absolute coloring in the omnibus, I think you're going to do a lot worse in sales.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But my hope is that they do an omnibus with the original coloring. But who knows?
James reports Creepshow Books Deluxe Books 1 from October 30th. According to Amazon, it's been moved to November 12th. Collects Creepshow Volume 1, 1 through 5, and Creepshow Volume 2, 1 through 5.
That could be a book market, direct market thing too.
It could. Sometimes Amazon gets puts their things on a week or two later than what.
But that sounds like it's the first 10 issues of what they've done so far. So
which sounds good. Back Cato reports the Creepshow hardcover will have Volume 1 and 2. Does not have the newer one shots, and it does not have the new ongoing Volume 3 issues. That's okay.
I'm assuming that'll be a Volume 2 hardcover then.
Yeah. I'm up for that. I have only read the first arc of Lock and Key. I have to get back into it. It's going to be a bit before I can get back into it. It really, there's a couple scenes in there that I think most people would think were harmless, but then something happens to somebody, and there's something that somebody gets possessed, and it gets incredibly creepy. It just is so crazy creepy.
How do you have that collected?
I think in deluxe editions, 3 deluxe editions.
So it came out that big hardcover compendium. It's like omnibus trim size. I don't know if you got that or not.
No, I have volumes 1 through 3, and I believe they are oversized hardcovers.
I think that's right. The compendium hardcover is the most recent reprint of it, I think.
These were I got these 6 years ago or something.
Yeah,
whatever was available back then. It's difficult to type with a large tuxedo cat on your lap chest. I bet it is, but enjoy it.
I have 2 tuxedo cats, Larry.
That's boss.
Larry and I feel like are like, like clones from a different timeline or something.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah, we have very similar taste in comics, and both have tuxedo cats.
Yeah, both have beards, glasses.
Both have beards and glasses.
See? Yeah,
both into like 70s Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Josh Greathouse, you'll get to Brian Boland's Early Dread soon. Ooh. You know what fills me with dread? What fills me with dread? Spending too much, but never have that with organic price books at code Omnidog. Thank you, buddy.
What a good little commercial for you.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Lock and Key was fantastic. After reading it, we watched the Netflix series with our boys and bought them a big bag of fake skeleton keys, and they pretended they were the keys from the series.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
How old are your boys though?
I never saw the Netflix series. I forgot it was a Netflix series. I still haven't seen the Sandman. That's ridiculous.
My nephew was watching Lock and Key, and I was like, "Oh, that's based on a comic book, right?" And he's like, "Really?" I'm always trying to get these nephews and nieces into comic books.
Yeah,
and, to no avail usually, but
I know sometimes it's very hard. Lars and Super Laugh Hard are having a discussion. Okay, that's good. I have them in hardcovers. Okay, Josh and Super Laugh Hard still having a discussion. Now Jews Dragons has joined in their discussion. Petty Jess is the best. You'll have to be more specific. I feel like I've been petty the whole time. I want to get some Taschen books, but I don't have any shelves that'll fit them. Yeah, that's an issue.
That's one of my goals for this year, is to build custom shelves that fit all of my Taschen books and artist editions.
Yeah,
artist
they would have
I
to.
I don't have shelves for either.
I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. I have a whole room full of Billies for my oversized books.
Yeah.
And if I got Taschen, those Billies would be the only place they could fit. So that means some books would have to find a new home. But yeah, I'm waiting for the half off sale in the New York physical store of Taschen that I'm taking the Bolt bus up to.
Have you been to New York?
Yeah, several times.
Okay.
But not in a long time. Dupe shakes his head at Justice Facts. He agrees with me. I love Six Gun until the end. Huh. Oh, Haints. That's what they are. Thank you. In Harrow County, they're Haints. Six Gun. I don't think these are hard to find, these oversized hardcovers. I mean, these are library edition. This is the coffin edition.
They're even taller than the library edition. I don't think they fit in a Kalax.
Oh no, they don't. They're in my Billy. This thing opens like
the Kaiju Max.
Yeah, this first one opens like a coffin, and then it's this is so great. And all the books. Oh, and there's a print in here too. I forgot about.
Ooh,
nice. This has been re-released in a variety of formats, so you don't have to get these. You can get the deluxes or the compendiums or whatever they are.
The most recent Omnibus paperbacks came out. And then I think the deluxe editions are the same trim size as those slipcases. They just don't come with the slipcase, right?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay, wait. First, I need to give a shout out to whoever the artist is. Oh, Brian Hurt. Signed editions.
Ooh. Number 586.
Yeah. It's a frontier saga that this is what I love. It deals with where any book that has a place in it where there's a thinning in the where the let me think how to put it, where the atmosphere is thin, that you visit, where creatures from the other side can come out and you can go in. Yeah. I love it when they say there's like a thinning in the air or whatever. And so that's what they encounter in this Wild West saga. There's a gun that is incredibly powerful, and it has a whole history behind it. And the most interesting thing to me is when they go to the swamp. I don't know. I'm not doing a good job describing it because I'm so busy looking at the art, which is so great. Here they are at the swamp where the world thins and otherworldly creatures can come in and out of. And so there's also 6 books that deal with the occult. It's very much of an occult book, and there are I believe 5 or 6 volumes. I just brought in 2 of them. This is the coffin edition.
I think there's 6 of those deluxe hardcovers, and then the paperback omnibuses collected it all in 3.
That makes sense. These are the slipcases. This one's nothing's as fancy as the first coffin edition. But yeah, there's all kinds of otherworldly horror and witches, goblins, ghosts, swamp creatures, epic mummy battles in back in the West.
That's one of those series I haven't read it before, but I just know I'll love it. I just checked out. It is on Hoopla, so I might have to make that a Hoopla read.
Well, Hoopla jacked me. I only get 5 Hooplas a month now. I definitely am going to call the library and talk to the Hoopla department and say, what is going on? Why am I only getting 5 when I used to get 12?
Oh, what you do is just have does Patty have her own library card?
No, she'd have to go to the neighboring county. It's not our county. We had to go to Prince William. I had to go to Prince William County to get one because our library doesn't do it.
We'll take Patty out to lunch over in the neighboring county. Get her to sign up for a library card, and then you get 5 more checkouts on Hoopla.
That's not a bad idea. She'd probably like being taken out to lunch and visiting a library. It didn't take long for me to get the card, so it wouldn't be like I'd be dragging her.
I know that works because my son has his own library card that I use on. Well, I used to use on Hoopla until he now discovered Hoopla himself. But
yeah, this is by Oni Press, and they've all got ribbons, and it's just
nice.
Beautiful stuff. It's highly occult, supernatural wonderfulness.
Yeah, I think those slipcases are out of print, but I think the deluxe hardcovers, I feel like they're liquidated even because I remember seeing them. Like my local half price books had like,
oh really,
a bunch of different copies of volumes 2, 3, and 5 or something like weird, like not all of them. And I think they're pretty easily found, and if not, they just recently reprinted it in paperbacks.
Yeah, so it's supernatural occult Western, and gosh, I love it.
There's just something about Western and horror that blends perfectly, right?
Yeah,
like, a hex, and then that it needs to be mashed up more often.
Jess, goodies will also be going to you. I got you a Judge Anderson print by Zoe Thorogood, a free comic book day. Oh, a free comic book day 2000 AD with a Mike Allred cover with a Dread story by Eric Powell. Got you one too, Taylor. Wow.
That's amazing.
You are a generous guy, Sonny. Thank you. Yep. Complete Harrow County coming out Thanksgiving week. It's painful seeing how he treats that slipcase. Is that me?
Were you not treating it well?
Was I? What did it?
It seemed like you're opening it very carefully.
I was being really careful with it. Marcelo, what was I doing to it that you didn't like?
Maybe Marcelo was like a white gloves kind of guy.
Now wait, was he talking about Harrow County? That Harrow County.
Oh, maybe he's talking about the Tyler Crook video we were watching.
Oh, Tyler Crook. Okay. Yeah, because Harrow County didn't. Yeah, I'm keeping the libraries too, Doug.
I don't own Harrow County, so I'm thinking about getting the big one.
Oh, I think you should. Yeah.
Because I was too late on the library editions, and then they went out of print, and then there was that weird thing where they were going to bring them back to print, and then because like there's some solicit people found, and people were pre-ordering things, and then it never came to be, and all that drama. But then now they're doing this edition.
Oh, he didn't go far enough to the part where he bends the slipcase. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Okay, good. As long as it's not me. Tyler Crook, whatever.
I mean, you are known to read with your dust jackets on, so
I do read with dust jackets on. Not Justice League Rebirth, Justice League Dark Rebirth. I had to take the slipcase, the dust cover off that one
because it's so thick.
Yeah, I just think usually with dust jackets, I'm careful enough that it won't wreck them. But with that big honking thing, they would get all mushed up on the edges. The dust jackets do feel good on Harrow County. Yeah, they've got a real boss feel to them. This is something that Omnicat would like.
What's underneath the dust jacket? Is it the same exact image?
Let's see. No.
Okay. Because those are Dark Horse, right?
Yes, they are.
Because sometimes Dark Horse does this thing that absolutely annoys me, where they have the exact same everything underneath the dust jacket as the dust jacket. And I'm like, you couldn't have done anything different. like Black Hammer, like those, like there's nothing different underneath the dust jacket that's on the dust jacket.
But it's not as bad as a DC Omnibus, which you take the dust jacket off and it's black. There's nothing there.
That's my least favorite. The cardboard
yeah.
that which I don't even know why they bothered to like emboss it, because it still looks like crap.
Yeah,
I agree. Those black cardboard DC Omnibuses really annoy me.
Perfect. You two are getting me to want to buy books. That's the plan.
So I got 2 books in the other day that are small little thin trades.
Oh, is that Beneath the Trees?
Yes.
Nice. Have you read it yet?
Have you read this yet?
I did. Yeah, I read it on Hoopla.
I just read it the other day, and it's as advertised.
Yes, it is.
Here's the quick elevator pitch, which I love that they had this on there. It's Dexter meets Richard Scarry's Busy World.
Yes, it's exactly right.
And there's just something about cartoony artwork when you pull it in. It's kind of like what we talked about Dwellings earlier. This cartoony artwork really gives you like this sense of like this false sense of security.
Yeah, peace and calm when it's really a serial killer on the loose.
Yeah, and then you read it and you're like, what is happening? I don't want to because this is like a murder mystery.
Yeah.
I am going to show this off in my October reads because it's like murder mystery. I guess it's borderline horror. But I'm going to be careful about it because I don't want to spoil anything, because murder mysteries are, you don't want to spoil. But
yeah,
as advertised, it's like the hit of the fall season right now. Everyone's talking about it. Pick that up for sure.
Yeah.
But Godzilla by Jake Smith and Andrew McLean is the #1 most fun comic I've read this year.
Oh, we just War for Humanity. That's right.
Yes, Andrew McLean, the guy that wrote and drew Headlopper, and then Jake Smith is the up and coming young cartoonist that I keep trying to get everyone to jump on the bandwagon for. But look at this artwork. Like, this is just fun, colorful, like absolute insanity. It's so detailed. Like the color treatment, which he does most of the colors himself for the first couple issues, and then other people jump in.
Mothra.
Yeah, but it's got every kaiju monster you can imagine, and I think they created a couple even. Andrew McLean does some of the variants, which has like a really cool look to him.
Oh, this book looks cool.
Yeah, it's just this thin little trade, but like seriously, one of the most fun the most fun comic I've read this year so far. They even get like a giant Voltron robot, which I love Voltron. Like every kaiju monster's involved, and Zoospora, I think that's one they create in this one. I'm not familiar with that kaiju otherwise. I'd have to ask Gio on that one.
Yeah.
But the artwork is just absolutely insanely fun, colorful. Yeah.
I think you may have baited me into wanting this.
Yeah, it's only $19.99 cover price. You can probably find it for $13 on Organic Price Books or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's so much
Taschen store, Beverly Hills, and Los Angeles. That's 2 of them. Oh, that's a lot less fun.
Oh.
Not so agoraphobic when books are in the picture, huh? No, I'm on that bus and I'm going right to New York.
Same. That's one way to get me out of the house. Do you still have family in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother and sister both live there.
So you go out to California every once in a while? Or?
Haven't been there since 2018. We're thinking about going next year to the Taschen store in LA.
Avoiding the family, but going to Taschen?
Oh, I could go to Miami.
That's closer.
Closer than LA. I don't. What would I do in Miami? Oh,
permanently closed.
Oh, there goes my dream. I had such a fun dream planned. Paris and Berlin has one. Well, that's great. I'm not going to Paris.
Have you ever been to Europe?
Yeah. I went backpacking there for 3 months after college.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
Berlin was still cut in half when I visited.
Oh. So it's like
that wall thing.
Yeah, in the 80s?
Yeah. 81 is when I went.
Okay.
Those Silver Age, Bronze Age, etc. Omnis should always keep the original colors.
I agree. that's one reason why I didn't get the Simonson Thor omnibus, and one reason why I think I might have sold my Daredevil omnibuses to Doug. Now that I think about it, maybe a couple years ago, because they modernized the colors in both those, and so I'm getting the Epic collections of those when they come out because usually they use the original colors in those.
I had heard some people were okay with the recoloring with the Simons and Thor. You weren't?
No, because you could still because they only had like the 4-color process back then, right? So they didn't have like all these different shades of colors and gradients and things like what I think Sasmurf might have been talking about earlier. You could tell they use those in the omnibus, and it pulls me out of it because it's like I know this isn't from this era. I know this is from the 80s or whatever.
I think there was a new Lock and Key story that came out after the compendium. I know that there was some really rip-off Lock and Key books that came out, like $17 for like a 6-page story on a couple of them, and I stopped collecting them.
Wasn't there like a crossover with the Sandman universe or something?
That sounds familiar, but I'm not really sure about that. Backato's kids are 6 and 8. We're learning a little bit about Backato. Backato's wife is the one in the family. She's got a basement full of DC bombshells and the covers that go with the bombshells and the Funko Pops that go with the bombshells and the bombshell dolls that go with the bombshells. Backato's wife has it figured out in the basement. It's beautiful. Where is that Backato? Is that in the toy set? It's in my Discord somewhere. Backato has pics of his wife's display, which is absolutely beautiful.
Those ages for your sons are into horror shows like Lock and Key at that young. My son's turning 10 soon, and he doesn't like anything to do with horror. Like he gets scared pretty easily, and so does my wife. So anything horror related, I have to watch on my own. But it's really cool that your son's into that.
Larry and Taylor both have an A for their second letter. Both have R's and Y's in their names.
See,
Larry's
it's all
mind is blown. Nice.
We're both from Indiana. Isn't he from Southern Indiana?
I think he is. I think he's down in the very right where it meets with Kentucky.
Yeah, see?
Oh, that's way too people-y for me, William Lee.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think that I could. I don't think I could make it.
I'm not into those big cons, anyways. Like my dream comic convention I want to go to is Heroes Con.
Oh, it's so fun.
I hear that's like very comic centric. Like it's one of the more comic centric ones.
It's not super comic centric. That's all it is. And
I don't have interest in learning about the new MCU movies and meeting the actor that was in 2 seconds of some role in some 90s TV show.
And I went there on a Friday, and then I went there for a big chunk of the day Saturday. No problem with people on Saturday. It was super orderly. The central aisle was completely devoid of people. The lines had not guards, but volunteers that were keeping the lines careful not to block the aisles down there. It's nothing but, I feel like it's nothing but creators selling their stuff and signing their stuff.
That's all I want. Yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember that there were vendors there for comic books. It seems like it's more.
Oh, I do want some of that though.
Well, I wasn't in the market. I know up in Baltimore, there were lots of artists and writers signing, and there were lots of people selling books too. And I went on a Friday, and that's when I found it to be the easiest to move around.
Do you see Dying Breed Collectors news about CTE2?
I was with Dying Breed for we went to lunch at Baltimore and then walked around all day Friday.
What did he tip you off on the news?
What's that?
He's getting like the big booth.
Oh yeah,
he's getting like a whole island.
Yeah, I didn't see. Did he announce that or
on Instagram last week?
Oh, okay.
He said it's been something he's been working on for a few years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, really good guy. I enjoyed spending the day with him.
He's a fun Instagram follow too.
In my opinion, a positive recoloring was the OHCs of Neil Gaiman's Sandman. It really made the art pop. A negative example, however, was the deluxe of Alan Moore's Killing Joke. It watered down the menacing tone.
That's one reason why I love the absolute edition of the Killing Joke, because it shows you both. And I feel like the recoloring, because I think Brian Boland did the recoloring too. So it's the same person doing it, but I think it's a similar treatment to what I feel like they did with the Swamp Things, the Alan Moore Swamp Things, where like the original coloring by Tatiana Wood and Swamp Thing was like this like psychedelic kind of like look to the color, and then when Steve Oliff did the recoloring for the Absolutes, it was like more like realistic, muddied kind of look to it. So it takes all that psychedelia out of it. I feel like it's kind of what Brian Boland did with the original coloring of Killing Joke versus the new coloring.
Okay.
Which I agree. I like the original like psychedelic look to it.
6 Gun Library are often at half price books as new inventory. Okay. Billy Club is both Daredevil's weapon and the name of where Jess's Oversized Collections hangs out. That is correct.
That's funny.
New York Comic Con in a few weeks, Jess. Check for those dollar bulb tickets. It's not getting there that's the issue. It's there that's the issue.
It's being there.
Yeah, it's just, oh my goodness, so many people. Oofa. Yeah, I agree with this. I wish we got more weird westerns. Is 6 Gun a horror book? It's a mix of horror and supernatural and occult. So yeah, I would say so. I consider it's got definite elements of horror in it. The blend with the supernatural.
I think we just need more Western comics in general. It's like one of those genres that kind of died out.
Yeah. Fun fact, the thinning is how the monsters appeared in The Witcher. One day, a bunch of new creatures like giant bugs, dragons, and vampires appear. 2/3 of the bear and wolf population disappeared. I have not seen The Witcher.
Those comics kind of annoy me because they're like the library nice, cool Mike Mignola covers, but he doesn't do it in the interiors.
6 Gun is a supernatural western. There's 6 Gun, each with different powers. If someone has all of the guns, they can reshape the world in their image. Boom. There. Thank you, Josh. That's the just getting in the elevator pitch. You don't even have to go to the 6th floor. You got it right there. Joe Lansdale and Tim Truman's 3 Vertigo miniseries with Jonah Hex be worth a mention. They were definitely weird westerns. Yeah.
Tim Truman did a lot of great artwork, especially in that Western style. Even like Scout. Have you ever read Scout by Tim Truman?
I don't think so.
I think it's an 80s series, but it's like a post-apocalyptic series, but it's like it feels like a Western because of the way that it's written and drawn. It's really good.
Oh, whoops. I already read that. Happy Saturday to Jesse Say What. I don't do it often. I love to just mess with people. I know it horrifies Omnicat. I don't really do it that often. You'll be happy to know I'm barefoot right now, William Lee, since for some reason you like that. Like jamming me up. William Lee, a lot of Marvel Omnis have a tacky feel to the bare covers that attract dust and pet dander hair really bad, so I have to leave many of those on. Oh, okay, yeah. Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees is going to be Melanie's Patreon book club for October. Awesome.
That's a great book club book.
Yeah. Maybe this is what I should do. Get the special IDW edition.
Yeah, I think it is standard size, but it is like limited, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for limited. You know that as soon as that goes down to 0, I'm going to be beating myself up for not getting it.
Yeah. Although, if you want to gamble a little bit, we're getting close to Black Friday, and IDW does a lot of Black Friday sales on their website. So they could maybe, if they still have copies left, put it in one of their Black Friday sales.
I ain't Psycho Cleveland. I don't gamble. Instead of having a black cover or the same cover art as Dust Action, they should put put a picture of Rick Astley on the cover so that when people first take it off, they can mess with them. Rick Astley. What a career in getting rickrolled. Yeah, I actually do too. I don't want to goof up the dust jacket. Surely that will make it to IST and other eventually for a fraction of that price. Not sure. I'd bet on it. I don't know. It went from 300 to 194, so they are selling.
Oh no, I think that's exclusive to the IDW store.
Yeah, I don't know that they would release it.
I don't think they sell that in the direct market.
I thought it was hilarious.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if they do like an oversized hardcover of that series one day, because it's been selling really well. It's very popular, getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, that is true.
We get that like in a year or something, but
that is true. Sorry for the late dive in. What's going on? We're helping Cycle Cleveland with his college football bets, and he thinks that Alabama is in Atlanta. I think it does have a Sandman crossover. Lutton Key. Oh, yeah, Golden Age. I actually don't have that, and I've been meaning to get that. Yeah, because that has a lot of... Yes, that has some... there were like 3 skinny hardcovers put out, or 4, and they're all in that, and I stopped collecting after 1 or 2, so yes, I need to get that. I hope it's still in print. Thank you.
I think that hardcover matches up with the other 3 that you have. Like same trim size and stuff.
Yeah, Kane's been there. New York City would be too much for Jess. Maybe if they have 50% less of a crowd. Yeah, Josh will be at Heroes.
It's a goal of mine. I can't promise it'll happen anytime soon, though.
There are only comic guests at Heroes. There are vendors, but they have 3 lists of artists. Dying Breed goes to Heroes. A lot of people have been talking about going to Heroes Con 2025, like VFC, Melanie, Super Laugh Hard, Lionheart, BJ Kicks, Chris Balga. BJ Kicks and Chris Balga live actually pretty close to Heroes. I saw them there last year. I would love to actually go there again next year.
Super Laugh Hard. He's going to fly over?
That's from Scotland, I know. That'd be amazing.
Heck, if you're going to do that, just fly over with the stuff you want to ship over. It'd probably be cheaper. Make it your carry-on.
I just realized I was not subscribed to Taylor's channel. I thought I had been for a while. Well, hey, here's where it is.
I'm on my path to 3,000. It's my goal.
Nice. Here's our Discords. Is this the end of the show? This is usually when you put these up.
He's counting us. Our producer.
He's what?
He's our producer. He's counting us down. He's like,
Bowen didn't do the original colors for Killing Joke. He didn't like the original colors.
Oh, okay. So he did do the new coloring then.
Yeah. So the 6 guns are guns in place of the Infinity Gems. Yeah.
All right. Hey, that concept works.
Yeah, that's a good concept. I do have a couple more. One of them, I actually haven't seen this movie. It's been made into a movie. It's The Empty Man by Cullen Bunn. It's soon to be a major motion picture, which I had absolutely no idea.
Oh, I didn't know that either. I didn't know Cullen Bunn stuff was adapted.
Yeah. The Empty Man is like a virus that goes around. It's been 1 year since the first reported case of the Empty Man disease, and no drug has been able to slow its progress. The cause is unknown, and the symptoms include fits of rage, hideous hallucinations, and other suicidal dementia, followed by death or a near lifeless, empty state of catatonia. As murder cults rise nationwide, the FBI and CDC enter a joint investigation of the Empty Man, hoping to piece together clues to stop the cults and uncover a crime. It's pretty riveting. It's also pretty gory.
Is that a one and done trade?
It's 3 trades.
Oh, 3 trades. Okay.
I don't know if it's been released as a deluxe, but it's 3 trades. That was number 1. Let's see which they have little. Okay, this recurrence. Okay, they don't have volume 1 on them or anything.
Oh, that's tricky.
The Empty Man has gone viral, not just pathologically, but also through the airwaves as cultists broadcast their message of indoctrination to all within range of a television. Yeah. Here's a pretty crazy page.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Now, the artist definitely has a scritchy, scratchy type.
Yeah.
But it works for this comic.
Yeah, the art looks great. Who's the artist?
Jesus Hervas.
Okay. Not familiar with them.
Yeah, and it takes over some people besides disfiguring others. It's actually, oh god, oh yeah. I remember this part now. This guy underground, this skinless dude underground. There's a whole thing going on. I remember this now. Really creepy. Okay, yeah, this is the second book. So yeah, Empty Man, I recommend. This is definitely horror. So there's 3 books. This is put out by Boom. Let's see. Gotta go. It's late for this old man. 9:30 here. I will have to have coffee for my Baturdays next weekend. Oh, Super Lavert said that's news to me. I may have had a wee tipple if I said that. Oh, it'd be so fun. Oh, wait a minute. Elizabeth Olsen's going to be at MICC? Wow. Okay. When is that? Both bus may work.
Just take the bus ride and then cosplay as the Bubble Boy. And then you'll be all right.
Everybody stay away from me. James has the receipts here. Super Laugh Hard, you said next year celebrating your 50th birthday, and you asked the chat, and the chat said Heroes Con, and you said let's do 2025 on June 1st, 2024. You can't get away with anything with James.
How does he have the exact date?
He does. A lot of cons have lists like movie stars, wrestling, and whatnot. Heroes has featured guest list, indie island list, then the general artist list. Yeah, there's no celebrities or anything. It's really all just artists and writers and their wares.
That's what I want.
I have the screenshot, Sonny. Looks like we're seeing Sonny. Yep. I believe you. I guess that means I'm going. Start saving up your Scottish pounds or whatever you spend over there. Just realized this is the first Baturday stream. I made it in the last month, not limited to just the last 10 minutes of the stream. The curse is broken for now. Good to see you as always, Spooey. I vote Omar pays for it. Oh, here's Bunk. That is a very scary witch head Taylor has in front of his Love and Rockets box. Kermit, thankfully, is much less scary. Yeah, that's an awesome witch.
It's the old witch. Oh, and Bunk, he'll appreciate this. Have Andre the Giant.
Up, and here's the how James found this. I do not know. This is where those witch heads are manufactured by a friend of Taylor's.
And he's got new products up there, too.
I do not know how James found that. That is almost supernatural in itself. It's crazy. Okay, let's not turn this into... Oh, yeah, I did... Actually, I kind of wanted to see this, the WWE doc on Netflix.
I watched it and finished it, and it's... I think you'd enjoy it a lot because you don't know a lot of the history around Vince McMahon. So I think you like. I I've been a massive wrestling fan like my whole. I haven't watched it a lot lately in the last few years, but pretty much the first 30 years of my life, I watched nothing but wrestling. So there wasn't anything new to me watching the whole documentary. And it is interesting because Are you familiar with like the recent scandal with Vincent?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, Lou filled me in on it.
Okay, so the interesting part about the documentary is that Bill Simmons did it. The guy that does like the 30 for 30s and stuff, and they started it off as kind of like a Vince McMahon puff piece. Was this documentary? It's just about his life. It's gonna be like kind of a celebration. They were gonna touch on all because he's been a part of a lot of scandals. They're gonna touch on the scandals too, but kind of like say his piece and move on and kind of celebrate his life. Well, it was like halfway through making the documentary is when this most recent scandal came out. So they had to like shelve the project, and Vince McMahon stopped agreeing to be a part of the project. He wanted to buy out the project at one point, so they wouldn't ever air it. So then the last couple episodes, really, because it's 6 episodes, the last couple episodes start to touch on the most recent scandal and things. So it's interesting that like the way it started and then how it finished. But I think it would be enlightening. I'd be curious to hear your opinion on it since you're not a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it. Yeah,
it's very fascinating and it's really well done. Like I will say, as far as the documentary goes, it's edited really well as far as like the footage they have and the interviews, and they've all the big talking heads that you want as far as like the main players, like his whole family and key wrestlers and things.
That's right. It's Mrs. Bunk's birthday. Happy birthday to Mrs. Bunk. Well, is there anything else you want to cover? I feel like we've gone for 2.5 hours, covered everything solidly. Our Discords have been there.
Yeah, I'm ready to go upstairs and read some spooky books, but
okay. Taylor Talks Comics. They can find you on YouTube, and you're also the social media guy for Very Fine Condition.
And please subscribe to my channel. There will be, and hit the bell notification icon because there'll be a new video every day of October going over a different horror comic topic or horror comic. And watch some of the videos that I put up there that may not look familiar to you. Just give them a shot. They're gonna be smaller, shorter videos, so it's not a lot of time, but at least one video every single day of October.
Nice. No, Josh.
No,
I don't have it in me tonight.
Neither do I.
I've been struggling to just put together 2 back-to-back streams. Thank you for being here, Kane. I'm glad to see you here. And thank you, Jewish Dragons. It's great seeing you here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This was a lot of fun. Talked about a lot of books. Scared me. I'm sleeping alone in the house tonight, so I should go read something that's not horror. Yeah. Okay. So in the description box below, you can find all of Taylor's links. You can find me on Instagram whenever I post there under Omnidog_vault, and go to my Discord, which is full of peace and love. So peace and love, peace and love. Thank you all for watching, and I will use the Baturdays song to play us out. Thanks for joining, Taylor.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Baturdays.